Did you just refer to me as White Devil?
This how they know you.
I'm going to do a terrific show today, and I'm going to help people because I'm good enough, I'm smart enough, and doggone it, people like me.
Hello.
Oh, we're live?
What's happening?
Oh, dang.
What was that too fast?
No.
Okay.
Totally.
Oh, you sounded surprised.
I mean, I was, but you know.
Okay. All right. Well, cool. I'm gonna give a couple. I mean, yeah, we're on and live and whatever, but I'm gonna give it a couple of minutes here and see if some other people don't show up. We'll find out. Enjoy this little clip. I love this clip.
All right, you lot, let's make television! Your time has come, you smug bastard! The aliens are here! We're all going to die!
Yeah, that's from a British movie called Morons from Outer Space. I highly recommend it.
Morons from outer. Holy
Yeah.
freak! I need this.
It is so good, and I'm pretty sure you can just like stream it on YouTube. Might not be a very good quality print, but the whole thing is just like these idiots that show up on Earth, and it goes through the entire gambit. You know, everybody's curious. They have a little Close Encounters of the Third Kind. They pay homage to that, and it all happens in England. So, but it
Almost
is,
like we did earlier today with Alex Jones. We had like a close encounter with from a moron with.
Dude, I'm telling you, that was amazing.
Before you get too many people in here, and before we actually are we live?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Oh my lord.
Are we not supposed to be?
No, you're good.
No, you're still holding the bicycle seat. You gotta tell me if I'm doing this thing right now.
You're good.
Okay, thanks. All right. So I was on my phone. I was looking for like a decent version of this. Although, I mean, if this is on YouTube, I don't think I can replay anything that was on on InfoWars. They'll just totally kill whatever I put up there, right?
Oh, they'll probably demonetize.
I'm not even monetized yet. But do you mean like demonetized temporarily, or
do you have
Just
warnings?
the video?
Probably.
What's that?
Do you have any warnings or any strikes against your channel right now?
No, I'm not busy enough for that.
It's dependent on how you feel about that.
Yeah. Because the first thing that I was interested in was the reaction, and Good Logic did a really good show today, and I'm like a little surprised at myself the amount of money that I threw in on
That
Super
Cool Frog
Chats.
guy that was there. I mean, he went
Cool
on
Frog
there.
was awesome there. Especially I like the point where you're like, he's one of the nicest guys, and I agree with almost everything he says, or at least I haven't said anything that you disagree with yet.
No, yeah, we
I
usually get right, straight to the point, and we usually pretty much agree for the most part of most everything.
Well,
Except
right,
strawberries.
I found this out like maybe a year or two ago, and I was trying to. You can't get cheap with super chats, and I'll still end up. What I mean is, if you're trying to only spend $4.99 because, and you're trying to edit it down like a tweet, so that your idea will fit in there, and okay, hold on a second. The dog's trying to get on my lap. He's been in his. Here, I'll turn the camera on. Ow! Turn the camera on so you can see this. Stop it. Come on.
He's like, what? I'm a lap dog.
He's been in his crate for 9 hours.
Oh,
and I let him out, and he's got separation anxiety. probably just wants. And my wife and daughter are they're in Minnesota. Go on, lay down somehow.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Minnesota.
So it's
Nice.
her they're visiting family over there. So all right, you're good.
He's like, I love you, I love you, I love you.
It's bad. Like I can only get him around the block one time before he drives me nuts. But this isn't love. This is just straight up need. You know.
No,
Hopefully.
that's pure love. That dog loves you.
Yeah, if he loved me, he'd let me cut his nails. And he's also trying to figure out what's on my breath. I'm telling you what, I've got scratches and scars and stuff just from. Okay, Bear. Okay, all right. So, but yeah, so I was watching. So last night I was watching Nick Rekieta. I had my earbuds in, and he had Adam Crigler on. I just figured it's just another YouTuber or whatever. I honestly didn't know that much about the backstory. I had been subscribed to Tim Pool for like a while. I wouldn't watch him like religiously, but it was almost like the one place I'm like, okay, here's good 8 minutes on what's new. And the way that he presented his material seemed like, the way he talks is the way that he talks. And I noticed that I was starting to feel about that channel the way that I used to feel about who's in here. I gotta check up on comments here. Jessica Reloaded. Oh, you know what? I offer this. She's telling me she'll take the dog if I don't want him. Other people are involved in that decision, but okay. So,
such a good puppy.
Okay. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
There was a point
just
when I
want
first
some
got in.
love.
Yeah, well, all right. There.
Oh,
There was a point when I was listening to like talk radio that I just got sick and tired of listening to Sean Hannity because every single he's knocking my headphones off.
What's up, boy? How you doing, buddy? Bear.
You want me to put the headphones on him?
Oh god.
Bear, what's up, buddy? How you doing, man?
Because every single show sounded like the last one, and it was just the same voice, the same guy, nothing new. He would say the same thing over and over again, and it got repetitive. And I was starting to feel that same way about this, like the Tim any video that he did, any podcast, and I couldn't figure out what it was that was bugging me. It wasn't really bugging me. It was just like, okay, so this is how this guy sounds all the time, no matter what. Get off! That's he's got his, okay, your ass is in my face. That's too much. Well, no, but he might be having some leakage issues is all. I just don't want to be in the wrong place at the wrong time.
He hasn't pooped yet.
Yeah. Oh my God, this is such a bad idea. Ah! Don't bust my headphones.
Anyway,
sorry,
else?
My point was that I was texting before that super chat from before. Like I was in a situation like that with in a business partnership in a custom paint shop that turned into a custom motorcycle shop, and the guy there was a personality exactly like that he was describing. It sounded like he was describing somebody that I knew. So, all right, it's
hey guys,
3 men and a lady.
Divinity, what's up?
What's going on, Divinity? Thanks for stopping out.
yeah, chilling.
Yeah. So I don't know. Were you listening already, or do you?
I was not.
Okay.
Sorry.
Oh my God! Do you hear that?
What was that?
Tim, that's the dog upstairs.
Oh my god.
He's probably got the zoomies. I really didn't think this thing through. I was just like, I really want to talk to some people I haven't talked to in a while. And here he comes, but I'm the only one here.
Ready?
It's like, hi.
Look at
Oh
them.
my gosh.
I
Hi,
know.
buddy.
As long as he doesn't put his ass in my face, I don't care, really.
Don't embarrass him right now.
Oh, well,
Aw.
he can't be embarrassed, I swear.
You're the biggest lap dog.
He doesn't, yeah. Well, this is the thing. I know he's part Malinois, which is, and I've said it before, they're like those dog-shaped missiles that
Mm-hmm.
special forces in Europe will actually put them in a dog holster and pull a ripcord, and they will just hit the ground and dive through whatever driver's side window the bad guy is sitting in. You know, those ones where you see on YouTube that do like huge acrobatics. But he's also part boxer, which means he doesn't catch anything in his mouth. He bats it out of the air. So it would be a great frisbee dog if it weren't for
And also
if it
part
weren't for
cat,
his
maybe.
boxers. Yeah. So,
How old?
I'm guessing 2. I'm still waiting for
Okay,
him, or
still a
almost
puppy.
2. I'm still waiting for him to mature. Yeah. But if he's good here like this, then I'll be okay. You guys can hear me all right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. So
Yeah. You got a huge ice cream cone. It's great.
a what?
Your microphone distance from your mouth is great. It seems like you can put it halfway across the room.
Oh yeah. It's I like this setup. It's not too bad.
Right.
I had to mess with it a lot. Once I got this trash can Mac, and then it didn't have the same kind of audio jacks, and I had to like do some research in order to get the mixing board to do whatever it was supposed to do. But so far, so far so good. All right. So after that, I'll just after that Adam Crigler thing, I watched all 6 hours of it, except for I didn't get through all of the super chats because I know that was going to take forever. But I was so convinced by what he was saying and my past experiences that I unsubscribed and like unfollowed all those dudes.
Really?
You know what I mean? Like it was yeah, it felt, I mean, whatever. It's not real life per se. I mean, I can get the same kind of news stories from there that I can get from anywhere else, but like that story, that kind of toxicity reminded me of my own experience so much. I was like, yeah, no, they don't even deserve my attention, because I don't give my attention to that other dude either. I was in business with these guys for like 3 years, and now none of us, like the one guy's 2 counties away doing his own thing, the other guy's in West Mifflin almost killing people with the bikes that he puts together. And I didn't want to have anything to do with that. And it was like that kind of arrogance. It was the thing that I was talking about before, where if you're actually in your, people are commenting on the, yep, Jessica. Oh, she's sorry. This is about the dog now. It's okay. Yeah, you can. Jessica wants him. Come over here. You make the drive. You can leave with him, because he needs a lot of energy.
She might need to take a couple of jars of canned meatballs with her.
Yeah, I haven't made one of those up yet, but I did get a smoked chicken from my work. They gave us all a cooler and a smoked chicken. But so, I mean, what did you guys think of that? It sounded like there's some people that weren't. I mean, I'm like totally convinced that that's a personality disorder with a huge following, and that the more genuine person is Adam Crigler. And I'm looking forward to like more of his content, because it's
exactly
genuine.
Yep, I'm with you on that one 1,000 times over.
Yeah, and I was like, I couldn't put my finger on what it was. It's like, yeah, that he does a good job, and that's great. Tim Pool does a great job, wonderful. But I mean, would you feel good about giving your time and energy to a person who's like I was trying to that super chat that I put out that I didn't feel had enough oomph behind it was that one where. And I've run into these like overt narcissists before, the last guy that I rented a shop from, I mean, he was a lot more slick than I expected. And it really, that's the thing that like it pissed me off that I didn't see it coming and I should have. That the only thing that I could say about him was that you don't have friends. You just have people you haven't fucked over yet. You know what I mean? And that every single one of those people sitting at the table, Ian included, are okay. Ian included, it's just a matter of time before something like that happens.
Dragon Man, what's up, brother?
Yeah, there's Dragon Man in the chat here. I haven't seen him for
Hey,
ages.
Dragon Man, I don't know.
minute.
Have we talked? Have we talked?
I have not seen him for a long time.
He floated
Like a
around
couple-
with the expert,
couple
was over with
months.
us and stuff. You know, he's been over in your chats a couple of times.
Oh, it's a snuggle bug.
He
I
bought
know,
a
there's-
T-shirt from me.
I got to look into that some more. My support of this community is woefully inept.
He's so cute.
He probably knows how good looking he is. He's just playing dumb about it.
I was playing coy, Daddy.
Yeah. Well, he's got no one else here right now. Everybody else is in Minnesota on vacation. He was just in his break for 9 hours. That's why I'm letting him do this. I was at
You
work.
came back.
That's a strange thing to
Well,
do. Go on vacation in Minnesota during the winter.
He was, I believe he was abandoned in Kentucky. We were
So
trying
as
to
soon
get
as you leave.
Yeah, we were trying to get the history on him and stuff, but
Aw.
I mean, there. Okay, now I'm sniffing my beer. Put that over there. But
So
I don't
like
know.
probably like minutes after you leave, he's like, "Oh shit, I've been abandoned again."
Yeah,
I
mean, I've
can't go
never
to the
seen him-
mailbox. I come back and my dog is like, "Oh my god, I'm so glad to see you." I'm like,
You're
"I've been
here!"
all day."
I know. It's that unconditional love, I guess.
Mhm.
So, anyways,
I mean, I'm
This is-
just as happy to see him. I can just control my body and I know what size it is. He has this whole
Yeah.
problem like your dog is having where he doesn't realize that like the rest of him is doing shit.
yeah.
Like your butt is hitting things over your tail. It's not just your mind that's going this quickly. He's so pretty.
Yeah.
He wanted to do that the whole time.
This is the whole this is gonna be the one live stream I have that just gets
I love him.
the most hits. Nothing that I've actually, hey, I'll show you. I'll
Nothing
show
that
you
you've
how to
said.
do stuff I know how to
Just
do.
the
That
dog.
or we'll tell some funny jokes or whatever. No, it'll be the dog. It'll be Bear. There.
Oh, Dragon
Bear.
Man, yes, Cool Frog is
That's your
back
name,
on YouTube.
Bear?
I was actually gonna
Yeah.
put something in chat, whatever. But yes, Dragon Man, I have been reinstated. I got to take a couple more weeks yet before I can actually do YouTube type things. So it'll be soon. It'll be very soon.
So, did anybody see the Kanye thing
Oh my
on
god.
Alex Jones?
Yes.
I mean, that was
Can we,
basically.
Can we
I
just
don't-
watch it?
Well, I don't know how. I guess the what I was trying to put across was that that Crigler Tim Pool thing, in relation to the Kanye West thing. Like there's just been There's been an assault of. You need to pee. I'm like, I don't think that's for me. You might need to go outside again. Hold on a second. Can you guys talk
No, you're
amongst
good.
yourself? All right.
Heidi's the best.
Oh my god.
Hey, there has to be an
That's funny.
article that we can actually pull up that would actually speak of such a thing. Oh, maybe I
About
have a
the
couple of them.
Kanye
Yeah.
article and Tim Pool? Or what
Oh,
does he
well-
mean by Alex Jones?
Well, he's trying to relate sort
About
of like
the
an
Jew-
overarching idea
Well, he
Okay.
that he
praised
sees similar.
Okay.
he praised that man with that tiny mustache
Mhm.
on show with Alex Jones.
Oh, Div, you didn't hear about this earlier?
No, I don't think so.
Oh my God. He was on for 3 hours on Alex Jones' show. So Alex Jones said they had like over 75 million people watching live.
Oh my God. That sounds like a lie. 75 million live at the same time?
Yes, on his freaking like
Apparently.
he has his own like band.video thing that he does.
Damn.
Like that's how he does his show.
Yeah, let's
and,
watch it. Allowed to watch it here?
Well, I don't know if we could because of all the things that were said.
Oh.
I don't know.
Okay, so
because,
he was praising.
Okay,
yes,
so
literally. Like that's not an
there's
exaggeration.
I'm
like,
going to
he
throw a
was
news
full-blown.
article at him. When he gets back here, we'll get him to pull this up and actually show the clips that come from of an actual. This is from Red State, so that it actually does have a YouTube clip. So then he should be able to play the YouTube clip.
Yes, Dragon Man, I agree. I can't take Hollywood people seriously. I know. And it's like people want to take Hollywood people seriously like this. I mean, the guy can't even speak, he can't articulate. He's like doped up, drugged up. Like, I mean, it's insane.
Jeez, he's still.
Yeah. Jessica, I
Somebody
think the echo
they
is
still
coming
out there.
because
I'll hear. He'll start scratching at the door whenever he's done. Either that, or he'll start barking at something, or.
The echo should go away now that he has the headphones
Yeah.
back on.
Oh, really? Was my headphones were picking up?
it was really light, but it was
okay.
fine.
Okay. I
It's
don't
okay.
want
Now that you got him on, it should be okay. So I threw a link for
Wait, it's
Red
not okay. I
State
don't hear
in
it.
private chat. There's a 12-minute video that you should be able to watch
to. Okay.
because it's an actual YouTube clip. We should be able to actually watch that.
The Kanye needs help.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Let me
Yeah.
see.
Naturally.
Or is
Okay,
that
I'll get.
G?
Let me.
There is still somewhat of an echo coming across.
No
Yeah, that's
kidding.
weird.
It's delayed.
Oh, that's because I was just playing that window. Is it me that's echoing, or is it just the video?
You sound fine.
Okay.
I hear myself though. Twice.
I don't hear you twice.
Same here. I heard myself.
Yeah,
Huh.
I can hear it too.
Oh, shirts too.
Everybody sounds great to me. Here, let's try this.
So you kick us all one at a time.
How do you sound now?
I don't know.
Hey, it worked.
Yeah, I think
Alright.
it did.
Strange.
Okay, let me try to share. You Brave tab, Kanye. There. Okay, so we're gonna break this down. Is that what you
Watch
want?
that video. It's kind of interesting.
Okay.
So it's another guy that's breaking down the Alex Jones stuff or whatever. So
Yeah, so we can break down.
being that it is an actual YouTube clip or 12-minute video or whatever for us to actually fair use it or
Yeah.
whatever. It should be okay.
Okay.
Kanye West is done. The guy has
Oh my God,
apparently
it's
sunk
this
so
dude.
low
I haven't seen this
at
dude
this point that
forever.
there is no crawling out of this hole. Sadly, the more I do watch him, the more I feel
Brandon,
sorry
what's
for
his
him,
face?
because it's
Yeah.
Feel
clearly
sorry
more
for him.
damaged and broken.
What's that?
Brandon Morse.
Brandon
Right.
Moore. Okay, yes. See, I watched him like several years ago on Glenn Beck's thing.
Right.
The Blazer.
Oh, okay.
He
He
was
was on-
he was with their whole shtick, and
That's
he
why
had
I
his
said
own
it
little.
should be okay for you to
Whatever.
actually
Yeah,
watch.
okay.
I don't know what he's
this.
doing now. I haven't seen him in a long time.
Well, do you agree? Do you think that he's done? Because I don't know.
I do not.
By this point, I'm like, I have no idea. Like when I was listening to the Melissa Jane's here. What's up?
Hey,
Hey.
there's Melissa.
Hey, Melissa.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't understand what
Fucking
he was
man.
doing on Tucker.
This
in
is
the
a
beginning.
man who.
Okay,
is
wait,
at the end
pause
of
it.
his rope.
Really quick. I don't know what he said. I'm about to find out. But before this, did you think Kanye's off his meds? Did you think what was your opinion of Kanye before this week or this month?
I never. I thought that he had. I don't want to say that he had issues. He was just super eccentric. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
socially inept.
Oh,
You know what I
Okay.
mean? Like you can't just get up on I mean, it's not like he went up and slapped Taylor Swift. But it
not
did-
even.
Uh-oh. Is this where it begins?
Hey, good to see you.
Hi there.
Uh-oh.
We're going to school.
No, I don't know. Do you want to
The professor's here.
hold on a second? Let me hit play on this, and then we'll listen.
Okay.
Hit play.
This is a man who is trying to make sense of the world around him as it's crumbling. Everything around him is crumbling, and he is reaching for something to blame. Anybody but himself, as it were. So Kanye West appeared on the Alex Jones show today and dropped some really bizarre statements, said some really weird things that are concerning, things that even caught Alex Jones, of all people, off guard. And many people would consider Alex Jones to be the craziest guy in any given room. Now apparently it's Kanye, because even Kanye's taking the guy off guard. So let's dive into some of the things that Kanye is saying right now. For one, he has basically caved to Nazism. He is a Nazi now, and I'm not just saying that.
He's
like
caved.
Some political commentary guy.
He said he's caved. He's caved to Nazism.
Well,
Did he cave to it or
what
embrace it?
Divinity was saying before, she's like, she asked a very good question. It's like, what did you think about before this? What was your opinion before this? Like when Tucker Carlson did an interview with him and he was talking about different things. It was like, what did you think about some of that stuff beforehand? It's a very good question, because it's like, he never really seemed like this at that time.
I could understand some of the things, some of the points he was trying to make, but he was trying to get there. On one hand, I could sympathize with him because I do the same thing. I talk in tangents. I try to fit too much context into something and try to bring somebody into my world or whatever, so that they can understand clearly what it is that I'm talking about. But I couldn't understand where he was like he was trying to fit too many ideas into a small amount of just a small space.
And you're talking about when you saw the whole interview, right? The original one?
His
the
interview
3-hour?
on Tucker Carlson, but I always thought that the 3-hour one on Alex Jones, or the whole 3-hour one on.
Oh yeah, Alex Jones.
I saw most of it. I can't say I saw all of it. I was at work, so I was bouncing back and forth on a lot of stuff.
Okay.
All right. So
I think one of the things with Kanye is that you have to remember he's been a billionaire since he was in his 20s. So he's been surrounded by yes men and people who just agree with him because they want to be there. So there's not a lot of pushback on his ideas. And you saw, like on Tim Pool, the way that, like he was getting pushback and he just wasn't having it, and then had to, storm off like a toddler.
Yeah.
And I think that a lot of the conditioning comes from just his particular lifestyle, and, not saying that it's not his fault, but when you're surrounded by people who just always agree with you, what type of person is that going to make you?
Yeah, when he said when he was talking about having that kind of money and having of not being emotionally mature because he's got all this money, no responsibility, it was not unlike when you see an NFL or like a young athlete who makes millions of dollars and then they just make every mistake. They make every bad choice you could possibly make. All those life decisions where you should go to the right, they go to the left, or you should go to the left, they go to the right. Antonio Brown's not a bad example, but I think the reason why he's in the state that he is because he got his bell rung hard by birth.
CT.
Yeah, exactly.
The things in particular that he is saying and that he is suggesting, it's very particular, and it's very, because the point that I'm trying to get to is I believe that he has been radicalized, or at least possibly playing a part in some other thing, but I think most likely he's been radicalized by this Nick Fuentes guy.
I have something about that a little bit, but not necessarily the Nick Fuentes thing, but I would make sure the dog gets inside. So I will mute my mic so I don't.
Gotcha. But
Damn, he should have just played.
Sit in
That's why.
silence. give him a bunch of
No, I'm
dead air.
curious about this. Like, huge.
But this Nick Fuentes guy, he said Kanye West says everything that he says. So everything that if you go back and look at all the stuff that Nick Fuentes has said about all these different things, it's parakeeting almost everything that he's been saying.
Says
all
how,
of those
like,
points.
Just because they get from the same place.
yeah. When you say he says the same thing, do you mean actually says it like on camera, or is it like because someone else is controlling his Twitter account? That's not Kanye.
Okay. All right.
I think
Sorry.
that's totally Kanye.
Well, like there's been a couple of meme posts and stuff like that where, it's obviously Nick posting as Kanye, but when you said that he says the same thing, do you mean like on video, or is it?
Oh yeah, like on the like today, like everything that he was saying today is stuff that Nick Fuentes has said,
Yeah,
and has
that-
promoted.
That shit was just fucking bizarre. Like who on earth would think that would be a good thing to say? Like, would you ever like lean into the microphone and be like, yeah, Hitler, not that bad of a guy. He had some redeeming qualities. It's like, that's not a good thing to say. When you're running for
He was a pile of shit, but the interesting one is when you actually do the research on the guy and actually find out that majority of his country actually liked him. It's really something that people really are ignorant to the point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right. And the other thing I think he was trying to get across, where he's using Hitler as an example of, I should be able to say that I can appreciate these things about these people regardless of their bad history.
That's what everybody wants to read into it as. But when you listen to what he says and you listen to what Nick Fuentes has said,
right.
I don't mean to necessarily take everything off track into this direction. But I mean, if you do because
I
I
have
went back
heard
and
stuff
looked
that
at
Nick
the
Fuentes has said, and some of those like righteous gems or whatever you want to call them, like no way. It's just there's certain things that you just can't say, oh, I was joking, or oh, that was satire.
Well, right. It's so
And
definitive. It's like, I mean, it's a definitive statement. It's not a, and they're like asking him to clarify, and he's like, no. I actually, it's like, well, you're doubling down on it then. This isn't a joke. This isn't there's a bigger overarching theme.
Right.
You're saying you actually believe these things. And some of it was even in detail. Again, I still see people on Twitter. They're like, oh, well, he's just trying to say he loves people. He's just trying to say that's not his point. That's an afterthought.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it might actually be some sort of an excuse after the fact.
Yeah,
Well,
post hoc rationalization.
Yeah, basically.
Because
anyways, it's just. I mean, there's a lot of other examples you could use. You could say Genghis Khan. If you're trying to say like, oh no, I think that Genghis Khan did a lot of great things, and maybe
he was an environmentalist.
Or
killing
something
like an
like
eighth of the population of the world. Probably not a good. Yeah.
Right, but I understand.
But then you look at the population now and how many are actually descendants of him. You kind of be like, which way was he actually trying to go with that?
Yeah. Right. Yeah, it shows up in my 23andMe, and now what do I do? Okay, I'm going to hit play real quick here. I'm sure we won't.
The guy is saying is like, oh well, he's a Nazi. No, he straight up is saying now that he is a Nazi. Watch this clip here, and you'll see what I mean.
I'm tired of hearing I'm a Nazi. I'm really, because I'm not. But I think by them falsely accusing people, some people are going to become Nazis.
I am. Now what? I am. Now
what?
Now I'm a Nazi, Ari Emanuel. Isn't that what?
Okay. So do you think he's just leading into the idea that somebody can call you that and it doesn't make you that?
Yeah.
In that particular instance, yes. But then he goes further. I don't think he's ideologically driven into necessarily National German Workers' Socialist Party.
Yeah, right.
I don't think he's actually that, but he's trying to say that he not only thinks that you should be allowed to say it, but that it's actually potentially, if not outright, a positive And that's the thing that he
hell yeah.
goes further with it. Like he constantly goes further with it because there is a certain point of rationale that he's putting forward, but then everything else is just gobbledygook crap. Like what the hell? But
Because that's all he knows. He's just repeating a talking point.
Exactly.
Well, yeah, either that or he's just unable to organize his thoughts.
And then everything else is just gobbledygook.
I mean, he doesn't deserve much of the benefit of the doubt, honestly. He's very calculating. He's very calculating. He's very driven. Look at it. How old is this kid? Like 22, 23? How old is he?
Oh, Nick
Kanye?
Fuentes.
Yeah, this is what he's doing with his life.
Oh.
All right, so
Fuentes.
at that age, he's barely been alive. So he's completely under the influence of a group of ideas that have been there long before himself. He's been a co-op along the way.
Yes, you said the first time I brought his name up the other evening, you said, "Oh, this kid's a Fed," and I was like, "Well, I don't know." And I keep looking into this stuff, and I'm like, "Oh yeah, he's totally a Fed."
This is.
It seems like somebody got in trouble and is being set up to cause trouble.
Every of us are old enough to be his parent, yet he is 24.
Okay, well, Frog might understand where I'm coming from with this one. This is a theory that I had and how it tied into the Adam Crigler thing, and it's this: the generation, and I'm this is going to be a ballpark thing, but somebody like Kanye, especially Nick Fuentes, Adam Crigler, they've all been alive as long as social media has been alive. And so that their ability to judge personalities and judge character is either influenced or hampered, whichever word you want to use, by that. Whereas I was born when the government still owned the phone lines, and there was only 5 channels on the TV, and so a lot of the
Kanye's 45 years old.
Huh? Yeah, I just looked that up too.
Kanye's 45.
That's great.
He's a regress 45.
Right, but I honestly think his issues
by his own admission
more just undiagnosed. Because the way that he acts and the stuff that he says reminds me of, and I don't mean anything bad by this to the person I'm referencing, but reminds me of my ex before she was diagnosed with bipolar. Just manic up and down.
The way
the wild mood swings and the wild emotional reactions.
Mm-hmm. The way that he talks, and if you try to follow his thought process on Timcast, which was the last thing that I really watched him on, if you try to follow his thought process, I understand that he tries to speak in metaphors, but it's so disjointed, and he's going in so many different directions, and he's not speaking. He's not really speaking in a coherent direction.
He's on a perpetual acid trip. It's like.
Yeah, there's something there's something fucked up upstairs where he's just going in so many different directions, and it's like, wait a minute, you don't.
I mean, if we look at the time frame of that doctor who threatened to dope him up, I think that might have already happened. That's just,
Kanye, he's clearly on a different level because he's an eccentric artistic type, but he is diagnosed bipolar, so we don't have to guess that he might be like
I didn't know that.
So, right?
Really?
Yeah.
He is for sure.
Yeah, but I know some bipolar people. I know some bipolar people who are medicated, and they end up being normal people when they're medicated properly.
Yeah.
So
you're that Josh.
But
pay attention.
Yeah, I was thinking firsthand experience, but
not to talk shit about anyone who's bipolar, but there are people who are bipolar that are, when they're medicated, they're perfectly normal. There's lots of people in society, judges, lawyers, doctors, stuff like that. So
God,
he's just I don't know.
This dude's my doctor.
Yeah, right. But the thing is
what are we doing? Wait, no, wait.
Well, but in figuring out those levels from the get is a little bit more of a hit and miss. You get put on one dosage, and then they see how it is. And you're 2 down or you're 2 up, and then they adjust it and see how it is, and you're 2 down and you're 2 up. Because as much
Yeah,
as
you have to
everybody
dial
wants
it
to
in.
think. Right.
Well, with
That's-
this guy being like doctor in the midst of that.
But he
Remember to ask
like,
your
this-
doctor or medical expert for all medical advice.
Yes, right,
Yeah.
of course.
but like seriously, the thing that caught me the most about his Timcast appearance was his disjointed thoughts. He couldn't continue and complete a thought. He just jumped from one thing to the next, to the next, to the next, and everyone's like, "What the fuck is this guy trying to say? Like, does he have a coherent thought?" And he didn't. Yeah, that's just that was my takeaway.
It always seemed like he was on, like he was on the edge of something.
Yeah,
and he almost like either somebody else is going to interrupt. That's one of the things that sucks. It's I'm interested to hear what he has to say, but it's going to sound however it sounds. I'm interested to hear what he has to say, not because I'm interested in his political views, but because there's a sideshow oddity curiosity to the thing.
Oh yeah, totally.
You know what I
You're
mean?
curious if you follow.
It's like the same reason you would watch Jerry Springer, and I hate knowing that about myself.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that's one part of it, but then there's, I mean, it's like with anybody here. I mean, we're all individuals. Eventually, one of these days, 50 years from now, Cool Frog and I are going to disagree on something. I just don't know what it is yet.
It's strawberries.
Because
Maybe. I mean,
but you know what I mean. No, it's,
don't give them ideas, shirts.
But we're all individuals. And eventually, I mean, everybody has that line in the sand.
It'll be about beard shape. Beard shape, I think.
You think? Yeah, or length. I got to catch up. Color, beard color. Yeah.
I mean, really close.
Different shading type. You have the gradation versus like just a quick.
Or like the whole reason it's there at all is because
Madcore mofo in the house. What's up, brother?
Whoa.
Man, that's great.
Let's
Epic.
The question is, did you guys see Madcore's new song tonight? It has been released.
Madcore's got
Oh no.
Oh, winning.
Was
It
this yours?
good.
Is this something you
trying to
did?
find him on here. I know.
Yeah.
Winning
This is his
reality
doing.
does its own stuff, and that was good tonight. That was good.
He should be like I'm in his Discord, but I don't see him in my private stuff.
I'm interested in seeing that whole interview. I think you should stream it, Madcore.
Yeah,
Let's try-
it's
Yeah,
safe for
do
him.
it.
He's in a place that doesn't exist, so they can't shut him down.
Exactly.
Right.
I don't have him. I have his,
Imaginary origins from imaginary places.
yeah, I got him as a I'm in his server, but I don't see him in my private stuff. Anybody wants to send him the
Winning, you
link,
cray cray.
I'll send it to him. Yeah.
anybody
Just say his
wants to
name
send
3
him the
times
link,
and he appears.
I'll send it over to him.
All right, cool. Yeah, because there we go. Did somebody just show up? There we go. Is this safe?
Oh yeah, Sleazy's cool.
I'm asking other people what to do in my own stream. I'm like, I don't care. I just want to talk to somebody. It's like it didn't take very long. I dropped these people off at the airport yesterday at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Help me move.
Now the house is empty. The dog's up. The dog's finally he's dealing okay on his own right now, man. Man, all right. Should I hit play on this thing?
Yeah.
Go for it.
All right.
Yes.
Here we go.
This is Kanye West effectively saying, exactly what Alex Jones is trying to warn people about. If you call somebody a Nazi long enough, they might suddenly become one. Well, here's Kanye West saying, yeah, I am one.
I don't know about all that.
So you'll notice that this pattern kind of happens throughout the entire program. Alex Jones tries to constantly give Kanye outs. Tries to give him a door out, to say something along the lines of, this has all just been a sick joke. I'm just kidding.
or up is that
hey,
way.
I wasn't serious about
Yeah.
this. I was trying to make a point. But he keeps doubling down. Kanye West keeps doubling down.
That's
you
what
can
he
see more
does.
video footage
It's
right
Kanye
now.
West.
Double down Kanye. Kanye.
This is from Cameron Arcand. Kanye West makes more wildly anti-Semitic comments in Alex Jones' interview. By the way, Go sign up for the VIP program on redstate.com.
Grift harder.
You could have found you could have found another picture without the hat.
Yeah.
No, they want you to feel a way before you even think about it.
They want you to know.
Yeah. Well, what side? What side? He's on his own side.
As you can see down below, it'll get you a pretty hefty discount. And you're going to get a lot of
See,
great
like
stuff
he's
that you
been
don't
banned
typically
from all
get
these places. He's had
being
all
a
this trouble. He has
non-subscriber,
all this
including
stuff,
videos, podcasts,
and he just
articles, some of
keeps
them written by
driving
yours.
right into this thing with like the Nick Fuentes side of the thing. And if you listen to what he said on the Timcast show, he was like, "Oh yeah, I was really impressed with Nick Fuentes." He said it himself. He's like, "I really like Nick Fuentes. I was very impressed with Nick Fuentes." And then Miley and Obelisk says the same thing, and then they both wanted Nick Fuentes in. So like both of them have been influenced by this Nick Fuentes.
You know,
I
honestly,
believe
I'm really impressed with. I really whatever. Actually, that sounds like Trump, because Trump will say that. He likes, they like Trump. I like.
Oh no, I'm not
Trump,
talking about Trump. I'm talking about
No.
Kanye.
I know that. What I'm saying is like just that whole. I like this person, or this person is. I am impressed by this person. That's I've heard Trump say that. I mean, from the freaking.
Okay, real quick.
The Johnson Johnson guy.
The three of them. Hold on. Out of the three of them, right? Okay. Out of the three of them, which one's the conniving bastard, right? Like out of the three of them. Yes,
Milo.
Exactly. The puppet. He's puppeting the. Yeah. Obviously, puppeting these are playing them or triangulating them somehow.
Did you guys see that? He admitted to NBC. He said, "Oh yeah, I planned the whole thing."
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I can see that.
On to NBC. He just planned the whole thing. He just went right out and said it.
He said, "I did it to make Trump's life miserable."
Yeah.
It kind of sounds like nobody here.
Yeah, get the fuck back on the left, dude.
How about? Wait a minute.
Get the fuck back on the left.
It's already happening, Mad Core. Somebody send him the link. He doesn't have to set up the stream. He can
He's
come
talking
in here.
about Milo. Yeah.
No. I was like, wait, who's talking about Milo? Do I know how to do this?
Winning was yelling to Milo, not to any of us. Just to clarify.
Yeah, he needs to go home. Stop playing around with the big boys. He needs to go home.
Yeah, and it's a drastic change from his original idiom. Is that the right word?
Wolf in sheep's clothing, man. Self-interested.
Well, that's one of the things that really that really upsets me, and it's one of the things that's going to get not that I mind, but it's going to get Ron DeSantis in the primary spot, because he actually is going to come off against somebody like Trump as a better judge of character.
Yep, exactly.
There's a point where people are going to say, "I have no idea how Trump made all this money." He's probably the same personality type. Probably more than likely the same personality type as Tim Pool, bringing things around again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's just a force of nature. I hate when people say that.
Go check it out. Trust me, you won't regret it.
Yeah, shush.
And, Kanye slamming the door and saying, "Nope, I am everything that I am saying I am right now."
You don't deserve to be called that and demonized.
Well, I see good things about Hitler also. I love everyone, and Jewish people are not going to tell me you can love us, and you can love what we're doing to you with the contracts, and you can love what we're pushing with the pornography.
I hate why
this guy that invented highways, invented the very microphone that I use as a musician. You can't say out loud that this person ever did anything good, and I'm done with that.
Okay, look.
Yeah, I'm with that.
The Autobahn, maybe, but a highway system, probably not.
Yeah.
Okay. No.
Because there's not even enough room in Europe for something like that.
The microphone was
I
around
thought
before
Eisenhower
then, too.
was the guy that did the highway system. And the whole reason he did the highway system
did.
was so that you need a place to land planes just in case.
Yep.
Okay.
Exactly.
Right. So anyway, so that's wrong. And
signs were easily removed.
In the microphone,
Mm-hmm.
did we not have radio before?
Yeah, we did. I mean, this is just BS. I mean, but this is the stuff that
Yeah.
like Nick Fuentes said.
Different frequency.
Like this is all
range,
of his
but
stuff.
yeah.
This is just BS talking point things. And the same thing when he talks about, he says like Nick Fuentes will say things like the cookies in the oven, quote unquote. All right, like that kind of thing. Like when they start talking about that kind of thing, that's the exact same word for word stuff that Nick Fuentes will say. This stuff is exactly what he says. word for word, but then he'll turn around and he'll be like, yeah, man, and like I'm tired of this and whatever, like and like he'll just move on to this other thing. It's like he's just this bipolar, crazy person who is just emotional damage from all this stuff. That he's just like shoved into this corner with this Fed boy who's just like yes, trying to get him to say all these things. Because that's what Nick Fuentes says all the time. Nobody will play an Alex Jones clip on mainstream media, but they'll play Nick Fuentes' clips like all the time because it's something crazy.
Kanye's
like,
literally trying to martyr himself
Kanye.
with this.
Yeah.
Like he's literally seeing himself as the second coming of Christ. And is like, I'm going to be the martyr.
See, that's one of those signs that there's
manic episode.
Going. Yeah, because I mean, like nobody is the.
It's like a messianic complex. Like
nobody is the Christian that they should be. So, like, disclaimer, but that's not the kind of stuff of somebody with a healthy faith says.
Oh no!
Wait,
I mean, you're supposed to have some humility. I mean, like when he's talking like God talks to me and
he does,
and Jesus, and it's not like he's the booming voice from the heavens or something like that, but you know. The stuff that he's putting forth is somebody's not. If he's not regulated, it sounds so bad just to say that, but he's not being taken care of because he doesn't want to be taken care of. He refuses to be taken care of because he's.
I mean, can you blame him with the air quotes taking care of that people have been giving him for the last 10 years?
Yeah.
I mean, that whole plan got messed up in the very beginning. Why should he trust anybody who's trying to help?
Yeah, because of exactly because of that way that the one personal trainer was like, we're gonna get you locked up or something. It's like, what the fuck? And also, who the fuck are you to do that to me? From my understanding, he posted some tweets or something like that, or some text messages about that. But
his personal trainer is a legit glowy.
Oh
yeah,
like ties to the fucking feds.
Really?
There's one
and Canadian.
Yeah.
A Canadian ties to the feds. That's wonderful.
There's one thing that I wanted to go back to. Have you guys watched the Lauren Southern documentary that includes Milo and how Milo keeps a vault of blackmail material?
No,
because
but I would love to know about that.
I'll find it and I will link it in chat. But Milo is an intentionally manipulative piece of shit, and he intentionally keeps blackmail material on everyone that he talks to.
Yeah, but Lauren Southern's the same way, so I don't believe most of what she says.
I don't believe her either, but there's a video clip of Milo talking about keeping blackmail material on people, and he shows the hard drive.
Talk shit. He always says he has stuff. He's always, I'm going to do this, and then nothing ever comes of it.
Yeah,
he is an internet troll you got to meet in real life.
Yeah, he's a grifter.
Now, isn't it weird, like how it is like this? If this is his plan,
I know, right?
How weird it is. It's a circus.
Yeah, the dude is
circus, and it is his plan to get everybody on the left to make fun of everybody on the right by attaching normal, common sense, conservative people to this.
Yeah,
it's actually, now that I spoke it out into existence, it sounds kind of genius.
But see, isn't that what the Fed wants to do, right? Like constantly call us all, and the lefties wants to call us all this. Now they're literally doing it. They're literally putting this over into our camp and telling us, oh yeah, and like you have these people, or you talk to these people, or you do this, like, oh yeah, see, you're totally like this. That's where I think that Milo himself, albeit I don't know if he's all that good in character, or has a very developed character, but that I think that he as well, when he was shoved out of things, he was already toying around and being friendly with some of these people, like the Nick Fuenteses of the world.
Mm-hmm.
Now he's been like, and if you look back in his past, like before he was shunned, before he was kicked out of stuff, he was toying around with that. He had this thing on Breitbart. It was a whole article he did with somebody else. It was called The Conservatives' Guide to the Alt-Right, or what was it? Something else like that. And he went down this whole list of things of like the alt-right type people.
Yeah.
They're not that horrible. Not everybody there thinks this way. Not everybody there thinks this way. This is kind of what these people believe. Da 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 da. So he's already like toying around with that world. Now he's like delved full blown into it. Now that he's been kicked out, and it's the same thing with Kanye here. And they both listen to, and they both think that this Nick Fuentes is great and articulate.
No,
and,
they don't. They don't. Milo is.
I think it's marketing. Yeah.
With the Catboy Kami hunters scanning socks at night, and when they wake up, they're like, "What would be a great troll that would get us attention?" Oh, Kanye's obviously unstable. Let's do some crazy stuff with him. Like, let's not pretend like Nick isn't gay and Milo isn't still gay, and just pretending they're both pretending not to be.
I'm sorry. I've never seen you before, and I just had to know what was going on with this get up. It's genius. You've clearly put a lot of work into it, and I'm so glad you're here because
I am a humble meme
holy
merchant.
shit, that's awesome. Tinfoil hat, Trump, and this is the whole background and everything. It's really something else. Although I feel like the expressions you're putting into the software, they need to be like over exaggerated, like Roddy McDowell being that chimp in Planet of the Apes. You have to go overboard with your facial expressions so they translate through the makeup.
Yeah,
a big smile, big smile,
cosmetics,
big
and
smile. There we go.
The collagen's acting funny tonight. I don't know why.
That's just the best, man. Hats off. Applause. Everybody applause Sleazy on that. I just think that's wonderful
Way to go, Sleazy.
But Abe Lincoln was right-handed.
Abe Lincoln was what?
Right-handed. He had the rifle in his left.
Oh, we're nitpicking.
Yes.
Oh no,
okay.
I flipped.
All right. Is that what's happening? There'll be no nitpicking on my channel. It's my channel. I'll make you live in the basement and do your own show from there if I want.
If you'd like to continue,
apparently you've got some moves. Is what I'm told.
I might know a thing or two.
Yeah. You know how to do the electric slide. That's the only dance that matters.
Every human being has something of value that they brought to the table.
Yeah. So see, extreme example. Yes, every human being has something of value that they can bring to some nondescript table.
Yeah.
I got here late. Why is he dressed like that?
Because
he's doing this.
I make the solo layout. You stop
He's
dancing.
like, what? Never mind.
There you go. All right. Nice. Right. Apparently, Sleazy has a beat, and you can dance to him.
The reason
why
is
who dressed like what?
He's asking why Kanye is dressed like he is, right?
Oh man, you are here late. Like,
Kanye is dressed the way that he is because this is a Balenciaga mask, and so he's trying to say that you shouldn't cancel Balenciaga because that's cancel culture, dude. And like good people still work there too, man. It's the same like logic that he's using for the Yahtzees and the whatever. Like every person has value and there's good people there. And I still have a friend that's there and like whatever. So like
But he's also been dressing like this for like a while.
With his face covered?
But the whole idea that so basically what
Kim
you're
was doing
saying
it
is
too.
where he's saying that he has love for everybody and that everybody brings something to the table. And I can put this mask on because if Balenciaga goes down, people are going to lose jobs or whatever logic he wants to apply to it is that what he's discovered is that it is entirely possible to sit on every fence in existence and not make a decision on anything. Not call anything evil, not call anything bad, not call anything good. There's no judgment to be made because what? Yeah.
Because how could he judge? How would he know?
I don't know. I mean, I guess he's waiting for a message from God.
Oh, in the meantime, he's like, let's just love.
Yeah.
That phrase. So what West is trying to do is trying to
Elon canceled him on Twitter.
On
he did over this.
Yeah. I was.
So free
This
speech
is
is
what
over
happens.
again. That was fucking
No.
quick.
Over something like this, he's like, you've
Well,
gone
you can't
too
say
far. This
Hitler's
isn't
an
love.
okay guy. That's the whole fucking point of free speech.
He had
Oh, man, those South Africans are sensitive.
He was going to put up as his avatar. I think. Do I have this here? He was going to put up as his avatar. Oh yeah, I do. It was a one of those crissy-crossy signs that the Yahtzees used within a Star of David.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
He wanted to make that as his avatar.
To be followed by the expletive Jesus.
Yeah, I have it shared on the screen.
That was
actually no. Never mind. We don't.
I don't think I.
Yeah. Let's not do that. Yeah.
I was like, wait. Never mind.
I thought you.
Wait, never mind.
You said I was an okay guy. Don't do that to me. Okay. All right.
Flourish in our nation, in our culture, but then also reject Hitler, who he claims did a lot of really great stuff, and he credits him with a few inventions that Hitler did not actually invent. But regardless, you can see how he's really doubling down here. He is trying to effectively tell everybody, "Hey, I am a white supremacist. I am a fan of Hitler. I am a fan of the
don't
Nazis."
know that he's.
And as you can see over the past
just
comments that he's made, he has really turned on the Jewish people. You can kind of see here in this next clip, you've got Kanye effectively stepping up to defend Nazis.
I've said it, the most Nazi-like activities I've seen, and the Nazis, in my view, were thugs that shook people down, did a lot of really bad things.
But they did good things too. We're gonna stop dissing the Nazis all the time.
Okay, God damn it! Wait.
Is that what we're gonna do?
No, I gotta go back. Let's watch Alex Jones' face whenever that sound.
Oh yeah, he just.
Alex is
because
just
there's a point where he just straight up laughs. He goes ha ha ha, as if
When you make a man like Alex Jones speechless, that you know you've gone to that next level.
Alex Jones, like, how much money does this motherfucker have? Because he can't say some shit.
Zero in on this dude's face. It's hilarious.
He's like, really? He gets to say that?
No, it's just like, yeah, Kanye comes in with, but they're awesome.
Thanks.
But they did good things too. We're gonna stop dissing the Nazis all the time.
Okay, what?
Kanye does have superpowers.
Oh yeah, that's brother.
I mean, yay. Kanye has superpowers. He was able to shut Alex Jones's mouth.
We're gonna get
to
that.
Isn't that what the
I
other
don't-
side says nonstop about their
Even
fucking Marxism
Alex
and all
Jones
their?
sounds flabbergasted.
The other side says about their Marxism.
All their socialism and all their shit. They're like, well, it just hasn't been done right, but there's some good things about socialism. And yeah, millions of people have died and all of that. Then no big deal. But stop saying so much bad
As
stuff
long as
about
we get it
the
done
same
right.
thing.
Yes, it's exactly. It's
Well,
fallen
right,
on
and it's
its face.
bad.
It is literally the
Wrong
Lucy
opinion,
Van
that's
Pelt
bad, that's
Charlie
horrible.
Brown scenario. Every time,
Right, but the
Charlie
same people
Brown
who
tries
use
to kick
that
the
or what are
ball-
using it against him is the point.
Yeah, it's. Oh my God,
I don't think Alex Jones is used to being
But see,
the
Divinity, this is the thing.
least
It's like
crazy.
people tried to get him to clarify and say, aren't you trying to like throw that back in their face? Aren't you trying to do that like later on in this stuff? And he said no. So it's like, I mean, what else do you want? Like, freaking crap. He just like shoved it right in your face and was like, oh no, I'm totally serious. It's like, what? I mean, it's just
It's
you
one of
know,
those things. Like, how
But
often
it's-
is it just me, or does when other people in this panel, you wake up and the next day and you're like, it can't get any weirder, it can't get any worse, and then you wake up the next day and it's like, and then this happened.
I think I'm pretty
All right.
well used to this kind of craziness at this point.
Yeah, I got used to that a long time ago. It's like happening
It really is
in
like
patterns,
being
you know.
elected broke the
Oh my
matrix.
God, this is amazing. Sorry.
It's wild that
all right.
Kanye West is the one fighting for free speech.
It's yeah, but he's doing that ultimate, you know,
I don't think he's doing it for free speech. I think he's doing it for his agenda.
low torch forest fire free.
The way he's acting.
Yeah.
I mean, none of us here are advocating, I don't think, for like, oh yeah, shut him down. Oh yeah, whatever. Like, I don't think any of us here are advocating for
Well,
that.
no,
No, keep him on.
I don't think anybody should. I don't think anybody should shut him down.
I mean, this is perfect. This is what we should want, is for someone to come out and just tell us what they think.
Well, no, exactly.
And just
That's
show
the
us who
thing.
they
I've
are.
said
Like,
that
that's
before.
the thing.
I've said that before. You don't need to cancel anybody.
Like,
Let
he's
them
got
talk.
issues. He's got problems. He's got what it's like. Okay, well,
You know, if you want to know where your
is.
little kitten is, and if it's up to no good, you put a fucking bell around its neck. You know what I mean? Children should be seen and not heard. I want to know where the crazy people are.
Search one of those in the mail. Find them.
But the idea being is that this stuff is supposed to be able to work itself out naturally in society, and it's happening. You don't have to on purpose. Well, I mean, although, what does that mean? I mean,
he needs to start saying some extreme shit because he hasn't said anything extreme yet.
A good one. That's what I love about you.
Person in that room. He definitely was. He was flanked by both Kanye and Nick Fuentes, an open white supremacist. But Kanye is clearly sick, and I'll show you guys what I mean, because there's this one clip, and it's not just because of the Nazism, it's not because of the embrace of Hitler. There is one clip that really got me thinking that there is something else going on with Kanye right now, some sort of
Hey, Crisis, real quick before this gets too far out of it.
Yeah,
I just want to point out. Right, that guy. I don't know who he is, but he just did something that slides by everybody. But we all need to start taking notice of if we want to kind of change things.
Well, this
in my
is
opinion,
Frog's fault.
check it out. No, check it out. It's nobody's fault. Check it out. He said white supremacist. He said that about Nick Fuentes, right?
Yeah.
Now, how many times have you ever heard?
I've never heard
I don't know.
with a last name.
Have you heard? Hold on, dude. Hold on, man. I'll totally forget what I'm saying if you interrupt me. All right. Look, I'll get it out real quick. Okay. The Nick Fuentes. Have you ever heard him say that white people are better than everybody else? I'm not sticking up for him. I'm just trying to say that we use the words white supremacists, which are their words to villainize our side on everything. We reinforce that when we use that language. We're reinforcing it. We're making it real. And he could have just said, "Hey, these guys are racist. Hey, this guy, thinks that the Jews run the world." He thinks that's what he thinks. Okay, but he just has no idea whether he's a actual white supremacist or not. Yet this guy, he's supposedly based, I guess, right? And he's supposedly is he based or not? I can't tell.
I mean, I can't tell.
Is this like good? Who's this dude right here?
Let me interject
RS.
here.
Red State
has said
Red State.
With this guy.
He said white people are better than everybody else.
Yes.
I'm just asking.
He has talked
you've
about
heard him say
saving
it?
the white race before.
Okay, that's not saying they're better than everybody else. That sounds like they're worse.
He has literally said that, and he wants to save the white race
How is he going to do that?
by wiping everybody else out.
Hold on, I got to see this. Where's this at?
You're asking if
you
Nick
do not want to
Fuentes
go
is
there.
actually
No, I want to see what he says.
But
I want to see him say it.
You're asking if Nick Fuentes actually has said things that would come out.
Yeah,
of
does he claim to be that, or is this guy just assigning him the label?
Has Grand Dragon language.
Oh, he
no, I want to know if he actually says that white people are better than everybody else. That's the white supremacist says.
Yes, you have to go to a Fed site to do it. But yes, and do not go there because Cozy will dox your entire everything about
Cozy?
Yes.
Who's Cozy?
Cozy.tv.
Cozy.tv is Nick
What's
Fuentes' his own. It's his own URL.
Streaming platform.
Right.
So he's
video and
if you visit the website, he doesn't know who I am. He can't dox me. Like, how's he going to dox me?
Man, I'm not going anywhere near it. It would be like,
what's he going to do? Put a cookie on my browser?
That thing of the worst, the
go for it if you feel like it.
Could happen is like is the Pete Townsend thing. You're just going there to learn about it.
Yeah.
Pete Townsend is writing a book.
I mean, if he's a white supremacist, why are his views hidden on his website where he might dox you if you go look at them?
I mean, they weren't before.
Right. If it's open, he's open. He's open.
That's the general thing. I mean,
why is he talking in code? Why is he
saying this stuff openly? And then, of course, over time,
Okay.
he sends
I never heard of this guy before. I just saw him for the
really?
first time on. Yeah.
Oh,
that's what I'm saying. I haven't heard this either.
Up to date on the whole. Yeah, it's a long, sordid story, and we can go through that another day. But this is not the stream for it. But yes, Nick Fuentes has called himself a white supremacist. And yeah, I get your point about.
He's literally said it. You've literally heard him say it. So okay, I'll take your word for it. That's why. But I just wanted to say that it gets thrown around so much. The word white supremacist, it gets attached to everything. Without and nobody ever stops and asks the question: is it true? Right? So that's all I did. That's all I did.
I get.
Winning,
Yeah,
you're thinking about this correctly because it's like that's what they all say about us, right? It's like that's the thing. That's what makes me think he's a fag boy because he literally says this crap and then tries to associate himself with us.
Yeah, there's absolutely nothing wrong with questioning the language because I won't use the word cis except in the context of expressing that the word cis is not a real word.
Right. Unless you talk to your sister.
My
sister. Exactly. Yeah.
I would normally agree with you that this is bullshit language, but this is one of those cases where it legitimately applies.
Well, yeah, but legitimately a good question though.
And that's what
Winning is just trying to he just wants to make sure that all the I's are crossed and the T's are dotted, as it were.
Yeah, and just not getting labeled something. Yeah, oh yeah, you're a racist. It's like, well, really? Is that person really racist?
You got to be better than the enemy, man. It's very front.
Fuentes is a self-hating Latino.
You're not wrong.
Basically.
This of the mind, not just like bipolar disease.
Let's start calling him Latinx.
But it's also the crushing weight of his life.
What do you call a Latino who's a furry?
All the things that have happened to him over the course of his life, including recently, he had the divorce to Kim Kardashian, the drama with Pete Davidson. They're trying to take his kids from him. All of these things, his sponsors leaving him, Donda Academy shut down. All of his entire life is collapsing around him right now. And you can kind of see it come out a little bit in this clip where he picks up a net on a stick, and he starts doing a little puppeteer act with it. And pay attention to what he says, because it really, I think, in my mind, pinpoints what Kanye is really upset about.
I was tired of picking up the Yahoo and the netting, so for now he's just netting. I know some people call him BB, no, some of you call him Yahoo, but we're gonna call him Netting. What you want, Netting? Right after this, I'm gonna say you're crazy. I'm gonna take your family away from you. We're not done with you yet. You cannot cause free thought. We have to control the history books. We have to control the banks, and we have to go and kill people.
And look at Nick Fuentes' smile. Look at this. Look at him. Look at Nick Fuentes.
What is wrong with what he just said?
He's saying that Benjamin Netanyahu, the Jewish person, is controlling the world, controlling the banks, controlling everything, controlling his life, and making his life a living hell. That's what he's saying.
Yeah, but the connection.
What am I going to say about you next? He said, I'm going to call you crazy. I'm going to take your family away from you. I'm going to do all the shit that is currently happening to this man.
But he doesn't actually have to wait for Benjamin Netanyahu to call him crazy.
Sure.
I mean, that's what he's saying. It's like
at least 50%. If I'm not wrong. What do you think he is? Do you think he's crazy? I'm not putting anybody on the spot, but
I mean, he's diagnosed, so there's.
Right. I don't think.
But he's also under the same influence many people that aren't bipolar are under, and that's the influence of the Zionist conspiracy, which was promoted heavily over the last 10 to 15 years by people who believe and follow the words of Bill Cooper.
Shutting you down. What happens when they are actually shutting you down and doing things against you? Is that
who the trainees, the Cooper people? That they're all the same. They're all part of the Legion of Injustice. They're all the same people. They're all the cancelers, the doxers, the shitheads. They're all the same people.
But isn't he going to be and I don't want to say like a victim, but a product of the environment? So he's not okay. If he's going crazy, he's not going to go crazy as if it's 1920.
Are we talking about Nick or Kanye? Because I was talking about Nick. I was talking about Nick, so I just want to be clear on that. Yeah, I don't want to be mistaken. So yeah, I was talking about Nick.
Okay. Well, I mean, as far as like undiagnosed or diagnosed or unmedicated or not regulated or whatever, my own personal story is the first computer that came into this house was 133 megahertz iMac. You know, like the first turquoise one.
Yep.
So like when we were first online here, it was AOL. So AOL chat rooms, same thing as people that cannot handle social media. Chat rooms are like an intergalactic freak show. Then the person who's in a chat room that cannot distinguish the difference between, they don't ask themselves the question, is this really happening on the other side, or is this somebody pretending to be somebody else? And the rabbit holes that you can go down. And the one that I did not experience myself that I was a witness to was, the odd thing is that some of it's not untrue. But going down that whole conspiracy theory of the creature from Jekyll Island, which I didn't know about, or the yellow people or whatever, you'll grab a hold of the thing that makes sense to you that might not make sense to everybody else, and just run with it. You know what I mean? You end up palming the wheel on whatever crazy exit takes you off the main highway, because you're convinced that all these people that are on this 6-lane thing going in one direction are all wrong, and they're all lying to you, and that you need to go off into this direction. So I'm trying not to get too specific, because I don't want to hurt anybody who is now medicated and now doing okay. But for me, it was something that I had to deal with, and I had no idea what the fuck was going on. It was just like, holy shit, that sounds crazy. What am I in the middle of right now?
Yeah.
Okay. But that person was going, that person was having their bipolar episodes in 1999. So whatever was going on in the 1999 environment was the thing that was affecting them. This is 2022. So whatever kind of crazy he's in is going to be flavored by what's going on right now. Does that make any sense?
Yeah.
Yes.
Or am I?
That makes total sense.
Okay.
It's everybody's like nitpicking their specific things, and I get it. I believe me, I really do. Like, Kanye is obviously in need of some sort of mental help, because
he needs
not
to be regulated. But anybody that comes at him with "just take this" is going to be suspect.
Right. Yeah. And it's weird because
he can't finish his sentences.
He's not incorrect, but he has extrapolated it to a point that it is insane.
Oh, especially, not finishing his sentences, but he's not finishing his sentences on these platforms where he doesn't need to be interviewed. He needs to be listened to by a professional, and Alex Jones is not one.
Yeah. Divinity.
How do you trust a professional when your entire life they've done nothing but hurt you?
Divinity. There was a thought that you were going along with that it didn't quite complete. Do you want to finish that? Hi, Super V.
Super V. Hi, Super V. I don't exactly remember what it was. I'm sure it'll come back up. You were saying
something to the degree of like, well, they've shut him down, so isn't he right? That's what you were sort of like, I don't know, you were like maybe devil's advocate or whatever, I don't know. You were saying like, they've shut, because he's playing the net, right? Netanyahu.
Mm-hmm.
And you were like, well, they have shut him down. Well, they've shut him down this. Well, they keep punishing him with this or that. So like, isn't he right? That was kind of your...
So what's wrong with
that seemed like some sort of a connection where he's making between... he's trying to work with his aquarium, and he's also drinking a Yahoo or a Yoo-hoo, and he's making some sort of a connection between those things that only a crazy person. This means something,
But
yeah. No. Go ahead.
Seriously, like Richard Dreyfuss doing the thing with the mashed potatoes.
Yeah, if you want to continue that thought, though, that was something that you started to go on, and it kind of got cut off.
Sorry, go ahead.
I can't. I don't remember
No,
the
we can.
exact
How
train of
about
thought.
this?
Thank
How
you,
about I
guys. I appreciate
rewind
that.
it? And
Okay.
I'll
Yeah,
just
no
go
problem.
It was
No problem.
We have to control the history books, we have to control the banks, and we have to go and kill people. Also, we're in the cafeteria.
Does that
Look
help?
at Nick Fuentes' face. Look at him. Look at him.
So,
Look at him. He's like,
Oh,
yeah, yeah.
he's
look
like,
at him.
yeah, that's exactly what that means.
Every time Alex asks him, what do you think about this? He's like, that's exactly right. That is spot on. That's exactly right. I completely agree with that, Alex. Every time Nick Fuentes is asked, that's exactly what he says.
Yeah, because one of them, one of them still has millions of dollars, and the other one is just wishing.
But the other thing too is that he literally says this crap himself. Like Kanye's parakeeting him with those stupid. I mean, obviously this is insane, right? But like he says those kind of ideas, and so he's sitting there like, yeah, like this is my disciple, my student, my whatever, and I'm gonna get paid all this money, and I'm gonna get like it's like all of this wrapped into one. Like this is. Like all the points we're making, like all of that. It's everything.
If there's a point that you wanted to make with that in the, I don't even know if I'm doing this.
Yeah,
right.
I don't want to get you yeeted on YouTube.
Yeah.
So
no, if there's a way that you can, I mean, if there's a way that you can explain, because I'm not sure that I understand it.
Yeah, so
Okay.
well, I mean, it goes back to what I was trying to tiptoe
I'm not worried
around
about
just a
getting
minute
yeeted
ago.
on YouTube. I'm nobody. This is which makes this perfect.
Okay, like he's not wrong. Like historically, the Jews have been forced out of the common space,
yeah,
and built their own space. So
Yes.
so you do typically see higher rates of Jewish people running things like media, banks.
I'm glad you
financial.
said that. I'm very glad you said that. One of my very favorite books. In fact, it goes Bible and then this book. And it is written by David Mamet. Anybody who knows, he's a great director, playwright, Tony Award-winning, very smart man. And he came around in 2011 and he just busted out of his left wing. It wasn't even really like left wing. He was just like going along with the crowd in Hollywood. But it's the secret knowledge on the dismantling of American culture. And it's a collection of essays. It's really very, very good. The next book that he did had a lot of the same stuff in it, but he says something about the Ashkenazi Jews, which he is a descendant. And the reason why the Jewish people are what they are has very much to do with it. Anybody that reads the Bible can read anywhere in the Old Testament about don't intermix with Moabites, don't intermix with these people or whatever. Just stay within the tribes, and that's what you're supposed to do. And generally speaking, that's in there. But they've also have a history of being taken from Israel and brought to name your place, Babylon, or under Nebuchadnezzar, or under this king, or whatever, and they've been split apart. It's a very their history is one of being taken, having their possessions taken, and moving over here. So one of the reasons why you might find educated people in the Jewish community that are doctors, that are lawyers, is because the one thing that you cannot take from somebody when they're being moved from point A to point B is what they know.
Their education.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why you find Jewish people as advisors or lawyers or doctors or whatever, because, the only thing that you can, material possessions are great. Okay. And if all your material possessions are taken from you, you do need to have a way to get those back. And how are you going to do that if you have nothing? The only thing that you've got left is your knowledge. You need to be able to market that. I was just listening to this on the way home. I was just listening to Ricada talking about the character in the first prequel, The Junkyard. What was that? Watto? That weird looking
blind thing. Yeah.
Okay. That is one of the most terrible caricatures of a Jewish person I've ever seen in a movie ever. But
really, I thought it was like more of an Arab, like
Italian.
Yeah, it was like an Italian Jewish mix. It was hilarious.
Exactly. Well, yeah, maybe. One of the jobs that I had when I was a kid growing up in Buffalo, my uncle actually got it for me because he was he worked for a place that was it was a scrapyard. And that's one of the other things that you find in the Jewish community, because when you get taken and all your stuff is taken, you have no choice but to find what you can and turn it into something that's sellable. So you do find that joke about picking up the penny. You know, I mean, when I was in junior high school, there were kids that would do that. They would throw a penny on the floor because like that was how you, it was the 80s. So in the 80s, it was you are rich and a yuppie or you're poor, and you'll find it in the cinematography, or you'll find it in the cinema in the movies like Pretty in Pink, or not 16 Candles, but like Pretty in Pink. You're the poor girl, or you're the rich guy, or we don't mingle with those people, or whatever. But like the Jewish people have a history of recycling. You know, taking metal that you don't want, repackaging it and selling it into something, you know, that's worthy. You know, they put the labor in and then they turn around, they sell it. And there's nothing wrong with that. But when it turns into a stereotype and nobody bothers to ask where the stereotype comes from, you know, and this is where this, you know, this weird prejudice comes from. There's a history to why they are the way they are. Nobody asks that question. Why is this person the way they are? Why is, you know, why did that thing with Tim Pool happen the way that it did? Because he's this way and Adam Crigler is this way. This dude here has a misunderstanding of what the, you know, Jewish history and Jewish people are all about. And he's listening to absolute total idiots. Yeah, he's a puppet. He's a puppet with millions of dollars.
Yep.
Billions.
Well, I thought
with a B.
I don't think he's billions anymore.
Yeah.
Nah, not anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you just said it, man. You don't know what he goes through, and there's a reason, because none of us are billionaires, and none of us have that you know, that level of Asperger's, or none of us have a brain that works like his. Like I've been trying to make this point where everybody's been trying to throw this dude under the bus. I'm no simp for this guy, right? I don't care.
No,
but I'm just trying to say that everybody, I've noticed that everybody's like jumping right off the cliff with this, because they have no goddamn evidence. It's all circumstantial. It's all shit they're piecing together. Yet at the same time, they don't even consider the fact that he's running all these companies, that he has a family, that he has all these other things going on, and maybe he doesn't want to be part of the establishment and the you know, everybody thinks he's the richest guy. Like somehow that's like winning the world heavyweight title, and somehow you're the best now, champ, and you're running the show. We're listening to you. That's bullshit. He's some dude who just showed up. He didn't have generational wealth. He's not part of the elite long term. He's not part of the family, the bloodline. He's not in the club. He's not in Skull and Bones. He's not in any of the shit that these guys are in. He may just go to the meetings where they invite everybody. Yeah, you know, because he's the richest guy in the world. But he's trying to be the richest guy in the world. And he's doing things like like buying Twitter, and like everybody was like, "Oh, I hope he buys it. I hope he buys it." And now that he bought it, everybody was like, "Oh, the guy's a dick, man. He's like totally, he's a Fed. He's working for the Rockefellers, dude." It's like it's the same old shit. Like, dude.
Well,
let's just wait and see, right?
There is the okay, you're not doing what we want you to. That's his angle. Is I've got all this money, and now they want me to do what they.
Merry Christmas.
What?
Merry Christmas.
What just happened?
Oh, he changed.
It's snowing.
Oh, okay. But yeah, I mean, he's clearly got issues. I mean, the thing about it is that this is to anybody who's experienced it before. This is sad.
Exactly.
And the amount of money that he has and the amount of potential that he has to be a moneymaker is the thing that's got him he's got that's the big problem. He's not even a person at this point. He's just
he's someone else's mouthpiece. Yeah,
that's it. He's basically
that we used to know.
Jump on him, get as much money out of him before the whole thing is over with.
That's exactly right.
And you're talking about Kanye, right?
Yep.
Yeah. I'm talking about the $4 million man, or however much money he's had.
The thing that I see, like, so the way that I look at it is like he's someone that's falling apart in public, and that's pretty sad. Like I don't want to see that. Like I don't want to see someone completely lose their ass or show their ass in public because the poor dude is not doing well, and that's kind of a tragic thing that like everyone's just kind of like getting their binoculars out and watching this guy fall apart in real time.
Yeah,
but
there you
at
go.
the same at the same time, it's like it's
pull up this PM article. You're
Sure
reading.
is.
This is actually within the last couple of hours. This has been posted. You see the date on it is December 2nd.
I don't know how he does it, but Ricada threw this out. I was just about to punch out of work, and he was like, "Oh yeah, by the way, that just happened."
Yeah, it's just sad to see someone like having a public meltdown, and there's no one around him that cares about him enough to say like, "Hey, buddy, maybe
not
you
even
should...
him, not even him personally, but just as another fellow human being on the planet." Like,
exactly.
This is the kind of sympathy that one would have, and I like, again, this is like on one hand, it's like a curiosity, but it's the kind of sympathy that you would actually have for a homeless person who's on the street that they're just homeless and not asking for drugs or booze.
Yeah,
but
the problem
humanity in
like
general
an
loves watching
tire.
breakdowns. That they just it's human nature. They love watching someone else suffer, right?
Jerry Springer programming. It's like
Keemstar doesn't have almost 6 million followers because he talks about helping people. He literally starts drama and causes people to have mental breakdowns and has 6 million followers on YouTube. Like, that is human society.
It's a sad,
and the thing with him too is that like nobody can tell him like or help him or like do anything, because every time Alex Jones tried to on this show, he freaking like threw it back in his face. And then literally Alex Jones was like, "Oh yeah, well you're like running for president, you're doing this, you're doing that. Like I just want to know this, I just want to know whatever." And Kanye West tells him, "Well, that sounds like a good lawsuit. Like, hey, you're going in lawsuit territory right there. Like, hey, oh yeah." Like he's literally threatening Alex Jones with a lawsuit. Because he's trying, Alex Jones is saying, "Well, you're talking about a 2024 run." And he's like, "Oh, I haven't announced. That's not formal, so I could sue you." It's like, well, what the hell? Like, I mean, like, he's so bat crap. He has all this money. People are afraid to say anything that could potentially set him off. Because, like, well, what can he do with it? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, but, I mean, if we're going to look at it, the lawsuit seriously, let's go to Orange Man and him trying to get lawyers. You think any lawyer is going to touch Kanye West?
But most people aren't thinking about that like that far.
Well,
they're just like,
if they're just thinking about his wallet,
I mean, there's
maybe.
a point where I'd be like, somebody needs to get let me finish. After I say sniper, but with a tranquilizer dart, just put him out for just a second, like. And who knows, like, and find out, like, oh, geez, he's got a bottle of pills he's supposed to be taking. This should be empty by now. And I can hear that he hasn't been on them. like right here, Super V94's kind of got it straight there.
Yeah, I'm also.
It's very possible he's just not on what he's supposed to be taking. But I know that a lot of people who are on, what would you call it? Not antipsychotics, but
usually lithium.
Bipolar. Well, there's a bunch. I mean, there's like
that or Depakote.
Oh, this is the same stuff that we were talking about with Omega Josh. Like,
shut it down.
Lithium is huge. What?
You better get your disclaimer, dude.
Of course. No, I'm just listing the different ones. Like there's not just one. But I am not I'm not a professional.
Yeah.
I'm not. Yeah, of course I'm not a doctor, for crying out loud.
I'm just a retard on the internet.
It's a very bad idea to take advice from any of us.
I wouldn't take advice. I don't even take my own advice. Jesus.
Yeah.
Same.
No doubt. If I could take my own advice, I'd be doing really well.
He had mentioned that he was on the L word.
Lithium.
Lesbians.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, no.
Usually the L word is on you.
He mentioned
if you lost a wrestling match.
Yeah, he mentioned on Timcast that they were trying to prescribe him he said was a lethal dose of lithium, which I don't know what a lethal dose of lithium is. Yeah, but he was talking about them the Timcast.
It turns you into
He's
one
like,
of Elon Musk's car batteries and you melt down. No, I'm just
So Mega
kidding.
Josh
right.
just got through telling
You'll
us that his
burn for
parents are trying to
hours.
give him force his medicine down his throat. I think these bipolar people who don't want to take it come up with anything to not take it. It's like a kid would.
Because they think
Well, but-
they think that when they're on their medicine that doesn't feel normal to them, that they're messed up then, because you know what I'm saying? Like, I think
Right.
it makes sense.
They just want
But
they just want to be
if-
normal without it.
But if you think about
Like an alcoholic wants to be able to drink without going over the edge.
if you think about bipolar, it's peaks and valleys.
Right.
So when they're not at a peak and they're not at a valley,
Yeah.
that
They'll get stabilized and think that they don't need the medicine.
exactly,
Mhm.
and that's usually what happens with people on psych meds is they get to a certain point and they're like, oh, I'm cured now. I don't need to do this anymore. And it's like, no, you're cured because it works. Stop.
know that- I don't,
stop taking your medication.
I don't live my life or learn everything I know from movies and TV, but I do remember seeing one episode of Law and Order where there was a homeless guy that was attacking people, and when they finally brought him to court, he was very cogent, very like lucid, clean, and whatever, and a completely different person because somebody had given him his medication. But his issue was that he couldn't, for as smart as he was, he couldn't think clearly. The medication that stabilized his mood also clouded his thinking.
Yeah.
And I wonder if that's not the case here from an absolute and total layperson who doesn't know what they're talking about. Don't take my advice.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you think? I think Omega Josh was doing like right before he went off his meds. We haven't even like figured that out about the guy, and he's coming. He's involved in all. He's coming after all of us. So he has at certain points. Most of us here, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
me too.
But he,
Well,
right?
to be fair, winning, you
Like,
might
what do you
deserve it
think?
just a little bit.
What was his name? Mega Josh?
He started it. Yeah, Omega Josh.
Something. Yeah, he
Omega
changed
Josh.
his name like 4 or 5 times.
This is
He's
one
Omega
I
Josh
haven't-
because we gave him that nickname. That's what it is. Just to let you know.
What
It's
was
just
the
like-
other one with the unibrow?
That's Omega
That's
Josh.
him.
That's him.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
What was his other name though?
Josh
Josh on Demand.
That's it. That's the one.
There we go. Yeah.
Okay.
The
I'm
fucking
with it now. I'm hip.
yeah.
I'm hip.
Yeah, but what do you think he was doing like right before he went off his meds? Do you think like can you imagine like he had his eyebrows were all nice and trimmed and he was like walking to work, he had a tie on, he goes, "Hello, ma'am," and he's walking to work with his briefcase. It's like, I don't need this medicine.
No, I don't
Not like
think
I
he
don't-
ever managed.
I was like-
no way. No
That's
way.
You know,
that's
I was
how
like
I know.
subject
I'm
to
on the straight and
cancellation.
narrow.
It's like
That's how I know I'm on the straight and narrow. Every 2 weeks, I get that wax pot heated up and I take care of business.
And look, no one asks for a unibrow. All right.
He's doing it to himself.
no, that's totally intentional.
Did you want to keep watching this guy? Or
Yeah, we do. Let's watch.
Sure,
it.
let's go. Let's
I
go.
don't think he
Yeah.
said anything inflammatory yet, so show me that.
No.
So show me the flames.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. I got to share the screen again. Stop. Present. This is how things go here. I talk it out.
Good.
Share screen. Brave tab. I gotta find it because I got a ton of. Geez, I got a ton of tabs open.
Do we need to get you a non-boomer producer?
Oh, I would love a producer. That'd be great. Is it the Kanye West thing smells funny? Is that the one?
All right,
no.
everyone. Kanye and Nick
Oh yeah, this was the video that I showed that I threw.
here we
here.
are.
This is from Styx on YouTube.
archived, of course.
What's happening?
I don't know.
I hear Sticks.
Shut up. What?
I
don't know where that came
some
from.
really good points in my opinion. But
Oh, probably, yeah, probably. So that's one that you shared. Okay, gotcha. All right, I'm gonna let's get through this whole thing maybe, and then we can.
Actually, gay here.
No, Alex, it's not. I think that Kanye in particular is a goner at this point.
Mama called him Kanye.
What
Call
you're
him
seeing in
Kanye.
front of you is a shell of a man. And I thought it was very interesting
Get
that
outta here.
the first thing he brought up with that net and puppet that he was using to communicate through was the fact that they were trying to take his family away from him. If you ask me, I see a man who is so destroyed. I see a destroyed man. His public image is destroyed. He's lost his family. He's lost his sponsors. He's lost everything.
I think this guy is taking this his opinion from a
since he can't blame himself
the
for
perspective
it,
of a sane man.
He does have obviously massive ego.
Right, he's not.
He is trying to simplify things and point a finger at one particular entity, and that is
right. That's
Jewish
easy
people.
for him to do. It's been presented.
I think that pointing his finger at the Jewish people and claiming that Nazism is great and Hitler was great does two things. It feeds his desire.
I'm kind of done with him.
He didn't have a lot of depth there, man. He's like that's such a guess.
I'll put it this way: he doesn't have as much depth as We7. Whoops. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Sorry, I think I'd seen this. So this is like what, 3 hours old? Sorry, guys. I click on tabs and stuff happens.
Go for it.
Yeah, is that the one you want to see? Let's see here. I mean, I am a Razor Fist fan. I must say.
That was the later one. That was the later one after that. I had the Styx one and then the Razor one. I mean, it's whatever you want to do, but that one was the Razor one I just posted here like 15 minutes ago.
Does anyone happen to have the Tim Pool tweet from I do believe today about Kanye being president?
He reversed that and was like, "Oh, I said that before this." Before the Alex Jones thing. That was hysterical.
I am currently blind to Twitter, so
gotcha. Yeah, I don't put a whole lot of weight into whatever Tim Pool thinks. That guy's a fucking narcissist and a weirdo.
Yeah, I love this. This is awesome.
You're welcome.
Good Lord. Yeah, thank you very much. It's the EBS Church Bible, ESV. Is that the English Standard Version?
Yeah.
Let's hope so.
Jeez. Frabil wouldn't be.
Fragile, Italian.
Look at the price of that Yoo-hoo and how many are left.
That's going to be next year's Halloween costume.
$65 for Yoo-hoo.
I was going to say.
There's only a couple left. Hurry up and get
I was going to say, how many of you have ever seen Kanye reading a book?
Pale white horse.
LeBron reading one.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Have you ever seen him sitting there like, no.
I've never seen him take his shit either. I assume he does it.
Right.
Yeah, well.
Maybe not.
It's the wiping afterwards that you take your pants down first.
Yeah,
first. The biggest problem is you just don't know how to go to the bathroom.
Right.
Yeah, right. Step 1, get out of bed.
I know, just like
Step 2, go to
God.
the bathroom.
Yes, he does. Everybody poops, but do they do it correctly?
You're doing it wrong.
You're dying.
Hold on here. This kind of got me thinking, right? So Kanye blew up when it was still the not tight pants rappers, right? So he never actually had to pull his pants down. Then he got stupid rich and could hire a butler. So maybe he doesn't actually know how to take a shit.
Well,
by himself or like at all?
It's one of those involuntary things.
Either.
Wait, they just roll him up like it's toothpaste and get the shit out? How does this work?
I don't know. I'm not a billionaire. But I'm guessing here.
They vacuum it out? That's a great idea.
Just wait for him to pass out from the drugs and the alcohol.
Yeah.
That's when we strike.
Why does this always happen on my stream? Eventually, it always goes. No, eventually it always
toilet
goes,
humor.
It goes literally, like it goes to shit. I can't believe
it's all your
talked
fault.
about replacing my septic tank.
Septic, yeah.
Exactly, yeah. It's like the dogs out in the yard and the hay and the grass seed. Why do you have hay and grass seed in your? Because the yard was dug up. Why was the yard dug up? Oh, okay. Let's get comments. I'm sorry, has anyone seen? Okay, yeah, he has.
Yeah, right.
He's read his checkbook. Yeah, all right. Let's see. Do we want to do?
Cubby can't even do that correct. He just,
nice.
spends.
Yes.
Like a muggy looking at a math puzzle.
All right. Do we want to do this one? Is this one pretty good?
Too far. Roseanne, You get yourself
this one's
canceled
good.
for that one,
I think he
Germs.
makes a lot of good points.
Okay.
So he
all
talks
right.
about he talks about how like people will like try to isolate quote unquote like Hollywood stars or whatever and like try to use different things. Like I think it's pretty intelligent.
See, now when you say that, that reminds me of when, and I think I saw it was Dave Chappelle on Inside the Actors Studio talking about Martin Lawrence going nuts. Didn't he run on the right? And and his thing, his connection was that at some point somebody in Hollywood wants to make you dress up like a woman. Wesley Snipes did it in what was it? Tu Wong Fu, Big Mama's House with Martin Lawrence, and so he's making these connections that you normally would be like, oh yeah, I never really thought about it that way. So when Kanye starts coming out with this stuff and going crazy, it took me a little more time to go, oh yeah, no, he needs to be looked after because I had all that other stuff in my catalog going, yeah, maybe he's onto something. Maybe Hollywood really is trying to make him dress like a woman or whatever the thing happens to be. So, I mean, I didn't settle on it right away. I mean, I knew he was weird. I just didn't think he was nuts.
All right, everyone. Kanye and Nick Fuentes walk into a bar. It's a little tiki bar in the Mar-a-Lago. Yes, link in the description, archived, of course. All hell has broken loose on the internet. This is like the main story.
What's with his candles?
At the moment, I think
he's a weird dude.
Right there. What is that? Those aren't candles.
Those are energy drinks. They're turned upside down. They're like
this is 666
9 or something. Yeah, but he turns it upside down for the.
Is he tweaking? Is he tweaking the audience?
Yes.
Kanye, Nick Fuentes, Trump, and Mar-a-Lago are all trending at the same time.
No, because totally, honestly, there was a point where, like a few times today, where I was like, "Hey, maybe somebody's going to come at me for my logo."
Illuminati.
You know?
Oh, right.
Exactly, because all I was doing was saying I was making fun of the idea that people zero in on that shit.
I thought it was an accurate depiction of an angel there.
Thank you. Well, the Latin. Oh, you were kidding? I can't tell.
Have you not seen
at 349
accurately drawn angels?
That's coming from the toilet.
Okay.
Keep going.
All right. I'm gonna keep
I'm worldwide at the moment. So it's significant. Doesn't need to be, but it's definitely being talked about by the legacy media because it gives easy fodder to attack Trump. Oh my God, Donald Trump admired Nick Fuentes, and he's a Nazi. To be clear, Nick Fuentes is not actually joining the Jackboot Club. Neither is Kanye. The concept that he's like, he's going to come out with a Hitler uniform is amusing. You'll notice, and here's a tie-in. Have you heard of the term star killers? The idea that Hollywood axes its various stars for having various opinions they don't like, especially if they happen not to go to private islands to sleep with 16-year-olds or something like that. It's interesting. There's a little bit of a tie-in to Kanye and Nick Fuentes and others with that. So Star Whackers, I think it was called. I can't remember exactly. It was that dude who looks sort of like Santa Claus who coined that term. Can't remember exactly his name. There's probably a reason for this. Anyway, I would like to talk about this from a different perspective. Legacy media is all, oh God, a Nazi was hosted at the Mar-a-Lago, and this conspiracy theorist, anti-Semite, evil Kanye, who we tried to cancel, and it's just not happening. Why do I get a feeling
you can't cancel crazy
going on here? Let's put 2 and 2 together, and I'm not going to do the names and make objective statements thing here, so I'll have to be a little bit couth maybe. I'll have to be a little bit couched in my terminology because defamation suits are a thing.
Dude, stop hinting at all this other stuff. All right.
We got a group of people. Milo is also adjacent to this.
That's totally how he works.
Yeah, I know. He keeps throwing out these like little hints to something that's gonna. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
All right.
Go.
This is
massively cancel culture. So Nick Fuentes has been banned off every mainline platform. By the way, hopefully Twitter unsuspends him because under Elon Musk's poll, Vox Populi, he should be restored. He didn't do anything illegal, but he was persecuted by the feds. They came gunning for him and, insinuated that maybe he did something illegal involved with the J6 insurrection and, probably threatened to throw him in jail. I think they had a problem with his crypto, too, at one point. I can't exactly remember. Milo has been mass cancel cultured. He's not capable of being on most mainline platforms again, Twitter accepted at this point. They formed separate networks. They've been managing to make a living. Milo and Nick and some of these others are sort of adjacent to one another. And in a component of...
Sorry, is there an echo?
Yeah.
Yes.
How bad is it?
It's about half a second.
Half a second. All right. Let me...
You got headphones on, so
I do, yeah.
I'm not quite sure why.
Yeah, I don't know either. I got headphones on.
Maybe Divinity or Cool Frog or America Shirts know better.
I don't
know.
hear. I don't hear an
It,
echo.
it has to be just as the way.
It has to be sleazy.
No, because Jess heard it too.
It's how he's playing the video.
It's how
I heard it. I heard the echo.
Right. Everybody hears the echo. It's how you're playing the video. There has to be something.
Okay.
Where you're listening to it twice or something.
It's just picking up on your mic, maybe.
How can it? There's no.
With
there's
headphones.
No sound coming out of a
Is it pretty
speaker.
loud? I don't know.
That's what I said. It has to be the
Either,
way
I mean,
he's playing it.
All right. Tell me if you still. If
It has to be a source issue.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Let me. Let's real quick go through. Sound.
What are you using?
Line out.
What are you using? Voice
What am I using?
meter? What?
He's like, I'm using the internet. What are you talking about?
I'm using the
American
computer.
Online. It's like,
No, everything's normal. I mean, it's a regular audio line port out, which I've got my headphones plugged into, and the input is the mic. Here, I'll turn the mic off. Maybe that'll help.
perfect.
The meme lord content creation club. All of a sudden, they're
That's
palling
literally
around
the
with
thing.
Kanye, who has also been massively persecuted.
Yeah,
Again,
all's
he
good.
makes comments about a certain group of people that controls the businesses, and they really fucked me over. And all of a sudden, as proof that that's not capable of being the case, he gets
Columbia
massively
House.
fucked over by his bank and by the companies invested in him and things like that. Really proving Kanye's point. This is rather unfortunate that they decided to go down that route instead of just reprimanding him.
What's that? Somebody said
fixed
something.
it.
Okay. All right.
Just letting you know.
All right. Thanks.
That was the
something
thumbs
like
up.
that for his offensive comments. When these people all get together and it appears they're forming some sort of bizarre presidential campaign or something, can I ask a rhetorical question? I'll base it off of this. Trump is likely to be the Republican nominee in 2024. Biden by then will be reigning over an economy that is likely to be far more in shambles than it was in this previous election. The Democrats already lost the popular vote by a wide margin, barely holding on to the Senate in the process. The GOP still took the House. MAGA still managed to pick up a bunch of seats, especially at lower levels. Again, honking aside, Republican red wave turning into trickle aside, yeah, meme it up and whatever, et cetera, et cetera. If you go into 2024 with a wrecked economy, near depression conditions, with Biden at the helm or Kamala at the helm adjacent to him, or anyone else that's associated with his admin, or even a Democrat in general would still be tarnished by the economic situation. GOP would be saying, we told you so, let's try again, because we could have stopped this, and that'll be their main selling point. And Trump happens to be running. There are plenty of people in the country that will never vote for Trump. Trump derangement syndrome runs very deep. The legacy media right now is trying to do a news lockout, so the only time they talk about Trump is when this sort of thing happens, when they can call him a Nazi or a rapist or something like that. They have effectively blocked him off every mainline platform other than Twitter, although I suspect he will begin using it again. They are trying to do a shutout. Even despite all of this, though, in 2024, in my opinion, Trump as the presumptive nominee, and their separate attack is to AstroTurf DeSantis in there, but we'll see whether he takes the bait stupidly and blunders his way into the race or not. It would be close. Trump would have a legit chance against any Democrat, assuming the economic conditions are as bad as they're likely to be. You have practically ground warfare going on right now in Arizona over their shitty voting system. You have attempts to reform the system in other states that now, in some cases, are run by Republicans. Defortification continues, and they're still ahead. And then there are a lot of Republicans who are saying, hey, now we'll start harvesting ballots too. God, Scott Pressler alone could probably grab up 100,000 of them, him and his volunteers. If they focus on just a handful of states while doing so and don't just randomly target everywhere in the country, like don't bother with Florida. That's a lost cause for the left at this point. It would be close, very close. They are worried about Donald Trump becoming president again. What better way to stop him than to carve off maybe 5-10% of the dedicated core MAGA voters by casting him off as somebody who's not extreme enough, somebody who ignored the censored masses? What better way to do that? And you can meme it up because some of them have a big online presence, maybe not on the mainline internet, but in the memosphere, on the 4chans and cozies of the world. They basically reign supreme. What better possible way to try to stop Trump 2024? You can't do it with neolibs. The TDS sufferers within the GOP can limit the damage, but they can't outright stop him without crippling their own political careers in the process. They're like, hey, we need some auxiliaries here. Jesus Christ, what are we going to do? So you get someone who can self-fund, who surrounds himself with the outcast meme lord club to run what effectively is a joke independent campaign, but you meme it up. Trump will go more mainline. He'll be more calm, potentially, more demure, because he has to be, or he feels he has to be. So then you get someone who out-Trumps Trump, so to speak, to drain all the energy out of the room. I'm just saying that would be a pretty good strategy now, wouldn't it? And all of these people could have been offered some sort of deal because they were all legally persecuted. The same network of government, big tech, celeb sort of Hollyweird shit persecuted all of these individuals. It's like a who's who list of who has been star-whacked. How very interesting. Something smells a little bit fishy with this, and I am not the only one getting a little bit suspicious about this particular nexus and about the fucking campaign ad that Kanye is putting out. Sorry, not sorry, still voting Trump. That's about all. Peace out.
To be fair, that's about all. To be fair, he is very, very much into Trump, and he will never actually bow away from that at all.
Nor will he ever vote for Trump.
He's totally, a Trump supporter. There's nothing that you're going to get from him other than that.
But is he going to vote for Trump? Is my question.
ID. You're still
better
muted.
question is can
still
he?
muted.
You're not supposed to tell him.
Oh no, you're muted.
No. I know. I'm sorry. I got it.
There you go.
You're good.
I'm not saying that he's wrong, but if we know that that's his mindset, wouldn't he be doing all of the mental gymnastics that it takes to get to the point where, yeah.
That's why it's so hard to actually hear him through.
That we could take away from that is that there's something somewhere that is, sort of, he's saying all of this. I like the perspective of he's being shut off completely. All of this stuff is being taken away. I mean, even Alex Jones can do banking stuff. Like Alex Jones can still do some certain things. Like, why are they shutting him off to the degree that they are? Why are they trying to isolate him so much? It's to try and force him to be radicalized. It's to try to force him into this kind of thing. And then you've got the Milos of the world who are this, and then you've got the Nick Fuentes, who I think is a fed op.
Here's the problem I have with Styx's take.
When you look at that, it's like that kind of flows a little bit there. That kind of makes sense.
Yeah, but here's the problem with Styx's take. That's 2 years from now. If Kanye does this for another month, nobody's going to give a shit.
He could be in a straitjacket by then.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It's 2 years away. We get 600 days. I'd honestly be surprised if Kanye makes it another year in public.
But he's already on the way down in the plane crash. The plane's already heading towards the ground. It's over. It's already over. It's
right. But his point is
that
they
spiral.
think, and again, it's not to say that they'll be, completely successful, but the plan, the thought behind it would be, oh, hey, we'll out Trump. He's more outrageous. Oh, look, he's saying all whatever. And, of course, this was made before these comments today. This was made before that. So, but I still think the point kind of still remains is like that was sort of the plan behind this nexus, as he calls it. Whereas, like somehow, some way, there has been this manipulation, and they're all like seeing each other as like, yeah, man, we need to get together. And then they start like doing all of this stuff. And then Milo comes out and is like, oh yeah, like I totally set this all up, as totally planned, this kind of thing. So like,
does anybody have any information on what actually was said at the dinner? Because I believe there was some sort of a, if I'm not mistaken, Trump got a phone call from somebody in the middle of this dinner, and then not so well, I would say subtly let the people at the table know that if you try to pull anything, I'll finish you.
It was just abrupt. Yeah, it was abrupt.
There's also somebody else at that table. That's the thing. There was a redacted person that was sitting there.
Oh, we know who that is now. That's that woman that was
Karen.
with the campaign. Yeah. What's her last name? I read it off the other night.
She ran the Republican.
Yeah, she ran the primary campaign for Trump in Florida.
Right.
And she was soonly thereafter kicked out. And that she's another isolated figure as well. She was isolated. She was thrown out of the mix from a lot of people.
Doesn't this kind of make anybody in here just want to run for president so that somebody can show everybody else how to do it right?
How do you guys do it? We'll all vote for you.
Thanks, I appreciate it. Yeah, I'll turn Pennsylvania red once and for all.
Yeah.
Weirdo for president.
Hell yeah.
2021.
Anybody. It's just it's getting stupid. It's getting it's I mean,
bizarre.
when Obama was president, I would say to myself, like any idiot could do the job better than this. And then we elected Trump. And not to say that he's an idiot, but socially, he's a freaking lightning rod.
Well, depending on the day, he's either a super evil genius or he's a complete retard.
Yeah.
Thank
Cult
you
of
very much,
personality
Latin.
is a weird thing. Like I get weirded out at that, like the whole cult of personality. Like I understand Trump is what Trump is, and like the whole the reality shows that he's been on, and like the whole fired, that sort of thing. I get he is what he is, but at the same time, it's like cult of personality does weird me out a lot, and I don't know. If you were to run, I would vote for him
too. And like when they say that, it's almost like every politician that you vote for, you're voting for a narcissist. They have to be that in some level or something. I don't get that from every single one of them, but I definitely get it from Trump.
Yeah,
I have to say that he doesn't care for the country.
He's not clinical though, man. I mean, this is the big thing going on. I'm gonna say something every time someone does it. There's a difference between like just general social kind of perception of narcissist and clinical narcissism. Like, there's a big difference between the two.
Everybody has a touch of it. I would
exactly.
Say in the same way
clinical is when you have a deficit, and you have a deficit, and you need to fill it with other people's pain and anguish. Okay, just because someone did really well and is confident, and that pisses some people off, doesn't necessarily mean they're a narcissist, right? It just means that it could be that they're just irritating that person, or it could be that they are a little bit more grandiose because they are super confident and everything goes their way, and so they're kind of just in their own little world, but they're not out to hurt anybody or to sort anybody. They got their own thing going on. That could those are the two other ones that people say are narcissistic, but then they kind of blend it in. Now that Amber Heard and all that other shit's out in the open, it's just like when you hear it, it's like, okay, she's not like Amber Heard, so you can't compare the two any longer. It's you need a better name for it. One of them,
like narcissistic tendencies, but not an outright.
I mean, it's like almost leaning towards the fact he's going to abuse somebody. He's not out to abuse anybody. He's just pissing you off because he doesn't care what you think. I
don't mean like he's going to abuse somebody, but you do have to have some sense of confidence in yourself to be able to get that far.
Well, yeah, I mean,
you wear a mask, or you wear a mask.
Trump, he's somebody likes Trump, and then he's all about them, and before you know it, he's like, I guess I shouldn't have hired that guy.
Yep. Yeah. It's definitely a whole flaw he has, man. I'll tell you every single one of his flaws too. I'll sit here and rip them apart. But I'll also tell you one thing: to give me another person that can take on the establishment right now in this time period, and then tell me how long you think we have to last to fart around with this guy and that guy. Like how long?
Yeah. Policy over personality.
I get what you're saying.
Still there.
Oh yeah. I get what you're saying. It's one of those things. It's like the difference between like that fine line between narcissism and confidence, and like I totally get that. It's just one of those things that
confidence confidence.
You have to dance that line, and
well, it's not only that; it's also a matter of perception. Somebody who doesn't have confidence looks at somebody who does have confidence, and they call it arrogance.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then to say that they are like I don't get the vibe from Trump that he's out for it just himself. I do believe that he loves the country. I do believe that he appreciates more than the average person, definitely more than any other politician that's out there, that the United States, the way that it was set up, is the reason why he's in the position that he's in, that he was able to take the opportunity, make the most of it, and become the man that he is. And that his foray into politics is a way of giving back. He doesn't need the money. He keeps giving his paycheck away the entire time he was there. He's giving his paycheck away to charity. Show me another politician that's ever done that.
Show me one congressperson.
Yeah,
one.
I wouldn't even do that if I was in politics. I wouldn't do it. I would need the money because I need to finish the floor in this basement.
Exactly.
Well, thanks for agreeing that my floor is
no problem.
Shitty. Yeah.
You're terrible.
It's just gonna look so much better.
Curtains for cold frog.
Garbage.
It's gonna look so much better though,
Yeah, I had big plans. I was gonna set up my green screen and stuff, and I was like, no, there's nobody home. I got to let the dog out, take a piss, pour a drink, and I said 2:00, and I don't want to be late. But, whatever.
There's a Razorfist video that's really good too about all this. If you want to,
I do have. Is it the yay or nay?
Yes.
Okay, let me.
Because
I've been trying to keep
all
up
of his
with private
videos are
chat.
fantastic.
I am a fan. There's a guy at work who's really into music, and I'm like, you got to watch this dude, Razorfist. He does all this awesome shit. Even his thing on Striper was really good, which was the first concert I ever saw.
Whoa.
Yeah, I know. Well, that goes into the house that I grew up in, which is a whole other story. One of these days, I'll tell you all about it. Is that too loud, by the way?
No.
The dinner date heard round the world. Kanye, Trump, fucking Fuentes. Before I even start in here, Fuentes and I have had our differences, mostly in height, but game respects me. Nobody has accrued more career mileage with a single fucking DM than
I don't know who that is.
I have no clue who that is.
About being the counterculture, all he like.
A lot of subs.
The man's actions tell on himself. He doesn't criticize Charlie Kirk and Turning Point because he hates Charlie Kirk and Turning Point. He criticizes Charlie Kirk because he wants to be Charlie Kirk. And forming your own political pack and finagling your fervent ass into a steak dinner with the Don, boy howdy, but that sure sounds like something Charlie Kirk would have done. Just fucking saying. But to the breathless hysterics of the mainstream media files over this ultimately innocuous incident, if you fucking hate Fuentes so much, broadcasting clips of the goof on national TV sitting in front of a green screen in his Gammy's guest room making milquetoast Jew jokes is curious fucking tactics indeed. Then again, when's the last time you spotted an unironic Jimmy Kimmel viewer in the wild? Dude's lucky to pull down 300K viewers a night, and that's high fucking water, folks. Kimmel was unpopular when late night talk shows still fucking were. How do you figure he's faring now that the genre he's associated with has a smaller audience than Yoko Unplugged? But it's the backdrop of all this that has fuckwits falling to their fainting couches. See, Kanye's been on a bit of a baby kissing tour for what he assures us all is an earnest presidential run in 2024, which, given that he's threatened the self-same scenario, 2 titty fucking times in the past, I'll believe it when I see him on a primary stage, presumably through fountains of laughing my ass clean the fuck off tears. Hell, I want Kanye on Trump on a primary stage simultaneously just for the fucking Kodak moment. And no, I will not refer to you as Ye. You're lucky I even call you by your fake as fuck normal name. Young parents, I implore you, stop naming your kids like you're making a Skyrim character.
Perfect.
You get a few yucks at their expense while they're growing up before you get bumped off by bladder cancer or some shit, while they actually have to bear the psychological scars of living with that shit. Before long, they're cutting it in half, rocking a nickname that sounds like a fucking parliament vote, and sitting next to Alex Jones with fucking pantyhose on their head. But it wasn't the wardrobe that got people's pee-pees all a tangle.
That's right. You're not Hitler. You're not a Nazi. You don't deserve to be called that and demonized.
Well, I see good things about Hitler also. I love everyone. I'm done with the classifications. Every human being has something of value that they brought to the table, especially Hitler.
Woo, lad! You know, I don't know who made dinner that night, but I'm pretty sure I know who was working the ovens. Look, the most offensive thing about their comments to me is they weren't fucking funny. We either have free speech, people, or we fucking don't. And it's a sketchy stratagem, to say the least.
If it's funny, you have it. If it's not funny, you don't.
Are overrepresented in finance and the media by weaponizing finance and the fucking media against him. Either way, Fuentes got his money's worth. Dude was trending, nonstop for 3 fucking days, which for a channel that had maybe 100K subscribers when it was originally deplatformed on YouTube is a quantum fucking leap in relevance. Though, admittedly, those numbers may be inflated. So keep it up, folks. Although, according to accounts from the meeting itself, perhaps that's the Richard Spencerian strategy at play here.
Ye had accidentally sent a text message to a lawyer that both Trump and Ye share, and forwarded him some intel that Karen gave to us about how we were going to handle.
This kid has not changed his clothing in like 3 weeks. Okay, like this kid has the exact same shirt and the exact same jacket for the past 3 weeks or more. Okay, freaking the oils and dead skin cells, they're like reeking and leaching into his jacket.
Well, that's the point. That jacket's a little stiff, so he keeps wearing it.
Oh yeah, right. Because it shows
I'm
up. On
telling
his
you
UV
honestly,
light.
I'm having issues with
my.
his thumbs at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know why. It's just like he's got. They're. I mean, these are great hands to draw. That position right there. I need to like. Just.
It's from holding all the black lights.
I know.
Yeah.
That's what he's holding. Uh-huh.
Oh my god!
Everyone say hi to
man.
Puppy.
Look, seriously, turn that thing inside out and shine a black light on it. See?
Aw, look at the baby. Look at the puppy. Hi.
We got to do this.
Yeah,
Where are we at here?
Put him on the big screen. There he
Okay, sweet.
is.
Oh my goodness.
That looks like my
Oh my
daughter
God.
is smaller.
Is that a baby German Shepherd?
Yes, it is.
It's adorable.
So cute.
She's the best.
Do it to you.
But also, sometimes I want to throw her into a ceiling fan.
Yeah,
But-
also a puppy.
What breed is that?
That's why they have.
German
There's
Shepherd.
Are you sure?
Yep. Baby German Shepherd. Oh my goodness.
It looks like
Her
my
name's
dog.
Remy. Yep. She's wonderful, but
That looks
also
like
sometimes-
honestly, God, I'm not trying to project here, but that looks like a Belgian Malinois. The same issue that I had. This one was sitting on my lap before, probably upstairs. God, I hope he's still alive. My family would never forgive me.
Oh my goodness, she's such a nice little girl. Yes.
What's her name?
Yeah.
Remy.
Remy.
Yep. You're a very nice little dog.
Oh, Jessica's still here. Thanks for hanging out, Jessica.
We brought back the viewer thanks to the dog.
But
yes.
yeah,
That's what it does. It's yeah. I can't.
everyone
Don't
loves
break.
puppies.
Bring back the
Yeah.
dog.
Where?
Protect the viewers.
All right.
Yeah, right. Every once in a while,
There's,
when
where-
people start going away, we just bring out
Yeah,
a puppy.
Melissa Jane is still
Sorry.
here. Of course, yes, we're still going.
Sorry to
that
make you
golden
pause.
X across your eyes is interesting. Very significant.
Illuminati.
Is that what
Yes, right. Illuminati.
No, that's so weird. No, I'm seriously having issues with this. Not just because like that with the logo thing, but like my comic book character has one of his eyes scratched out.
Oh yeah.
And
Right.
now I'm like, oh man, there's a whole other reason behind that has nothing to do with some weird conspiracy theory. And
I mean, you do have the Illuminati eye in your logo.
yeah, but the triangle's upside down.
I mean, now it's
good.
double time. I mean, you're really getting into like, I don't know, man. No, I'm just kidding.
Seriously,
There are no coincidences.
the Latin around here, around the triangle, is translated to God bless the hand of the artist. That's what that means. And I had a professor from WVU. Make sure. Let's listen to the last 2 minutes and 16 seconds of what's his face.
The Trump meeting and how to read his body language and the kinds of things that maybe we should avoid or things we might want to say. And so before the dinner, Ye accidentally forwarded that to a lawyer who then in the middle of the dinner apparently called Trump. Somebody called Trump and said, Karen is giving Ye intel. Because Karen worked for Trump.
It's like, Nazis, swear.
Florida during the Republican primary in 2016. And so he got the heads up. They thought it was some big ambush. So he gets off the phone and the tone totally flipped. And he starts telling Ye these stories about how some of his black constituents had betrayed him. He told the story about how he got ASAP Rocky out of jail. He told the story about how he got the NBA basketball players out of the Chinese jail. And the moral of the story was, if you go against me, if you're disloyal to me, I'll crush you. That was kind of the subtext.
How's that?
Blow on then.
How was that the
Also, I'm
subtext
loving
of
how
those
ever
two
since he's
stories?
been palling around with Kanye, Fuentes went from wearing a prom suit from Baby Gap to a baggy blue hip hop hoodie. Subtle shit, Sherlock. I only assume if he worked for Pelosi, he'd have a pantsuit, Botox, and a bad facelift inside of 17 minutes. But can we all just take a beat here, knock back a brew, and relax? I mean, look, BLM assured us all for over 2 years of arson and ethnic rioting, racism is prejudice plus privilege. And thus, obviously, Kanye West is physically and biologically incapable of racism on account of he's blacker than a Persian dude's shower drain. See? Nothing at all to worry about. I'm Razor Fist. God fucking speed.
I love that dude. He's
Someone's back.
But that's just
all right. No, the reason. Okay, here he is. The reason I was saying that, Germs, is because.
Yeah. Oh my.
This is a Belgian Malinois boxer mix, and he's got the same.
The snout.
Yeah, I might have woke him up. I wanted you guys to see him. He was probably upstairs catching some Z's. I don't know why. He's okay. Anyways, the star of the show.
Put me back to bed.
Yeah, right.
Probably. Well, I mean, it's done. It's like 4:19 in the morning.
Oh my.
What?
I mean, for
Divinity is like, hold up, 4:19.
Oh,
yeah, right.
She's got like 30 seconds. Hurry up.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6.
She's like, I got
5,
that shit.
4, 3, 2, 1, go.
You hear a lighter
59
click
seconds.
right
You
about
better
now.
hurry.
Yep.
No, that's it. It's 4:20. So, ouch, nails.
But,
all right.
Go lay down. Go lay down, Bear.
Okay.
Just tell her it's bath time.
Yeah, well, yeah. I feel like I should probably let him out again. It's been 2 hours, and I am convinced that he does not have the bladder of, because I keep seeing places in the garage where he's marked his territory and been so subtle about it that I don't see it until it's the next day and it's been dried up. But he doesn't piss on anything of mine, just the floor. Yeah, so, all right. So the only other stuff that I have up here is the this. Share screen. Thank you, everybody, for contributing. This is a really nice stone soup thing happening here. Yeah, everybody know stone soup? That story?
I don't.
No, stone soup is where the two soldiers returning from war, they show up to a strange town and they want to be fed. They don't know how to do it. All they have is a pot, water, and a stone. So they build a fire. They put the pot on the fire. They put the stone in it, and they stir it around. And that smells so good. And one of the townspeople comes out and says, "What are you cooking?" And they say, "Stone soup. It's the best soup ever. All it needs is some carrots." I've got some carrots. So they run down and get some carrots, and it keeps going back and forth until everybody in the town contributes something to the stone soup, and they end up feeding themselves by feeding everybody.
Sounds like commie propaganda.
You know, a little bit, a little bit, but I would also call it ingenuity.
Sounds very delicious. I'm hungry for some stone soup.
I know.
No. Okay. So what do we have? They totally Elon Musk grant amnesty for suspended Twitter accounts, but after making anti-Semitic comments and praising Hitler on Thursday, rapper. How do you say that a crazy? This is basically the crux of the whole thing is how do we say that the crazy person was praising Hitler? They're crazy. How do you put? I think I heard that. Yeah, the camera's off, but the mic is on, and I can hear that.
It's like, hold on.
Yeah, Jessica remembers that. That's how you, right? That's how you know that the tax dollars were going to your school in a proper fashion. You learned.
I could have told you they weren't.
No, I honestly, I thought my school district did pretty good for public schools.
We had clear backpacks and metal detectors in elementary school.
Oh man, no, we didn't. We had fights in the hallways, and we kids worked that shit out for themselves. Yeah. Twitter owner Elon Musk said it would be suspended, and that's like a suspended, like outright done, not like a 12-hour timeout. He didn't get a dunce cap or anything like that. He didn't go. He's not sitting in the corner. Twitter owner Elon Musk said it would be suspended after a post on Ye's account Thursday night. That was yesterday.
Right.
I did not see this. A swastika inside a Star of David.
Oh, I told you about it. I was going to share
you told
it, and
me
then I was
about
like,
it.
oh, no.
No, well, my God. You know, okay, so it's... If you're trying to say that I just want to make sure that free speech, blah, 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 blanket free speech, broad brush, I love everybody, fine. But you keep going down that particular road. To the Genghis Khan argument, you're not saying that it's not just, he's not going from Hitler to Hirohito, to Mussolini, to Stalin, to all these other, to Mao, to whatever. He's just concentrating on that one thing.
He's going from that to Omega Josh. You know.
Well, no, what I mean is he keeps going down. If he used other examples, it would actually dilute the Nazi thing. Or can I even say that? I probably can't say that. The Nazi, the what's the
Yahtzee.
word? Yahtzee, yes. Exactly. He would dilute the Yahtzee thing if he actually went to like a Caesar taking over Vercingetorix in 2 BC. He could go to Napoleon. He could use these other examples, but he doesn't do that. He keeps going right to there.
This is his account.
Because they believe the Zionists run the world. Like
Well,
I'm telling you, but underneath all of this, it's always going to go back to the Zionists running the world, secretly running it, and they in their eyes, even the Jews that aren't practicing are in on it. And in their eyes, they can flip at any second. They're all there to defend Israel. Anybody who likes Israel is an enemy of theirs. Anybody who likes Alex Jones is an enemy of theirs. And anybody who doesn't believe the Jews are running the world is an enemy of theirs. That's why they don't fit in anywhere. They're the alt-right. They have no place to go. They can't fit on the left, the right, anywhere in between. That's why they're way over there. And we get put in the same bucket with these people all the time because they're that bad. They make you look bad. So that's why they keep saying you're the alt-right.
Everything that I needed to know about when the term alt-right first showed up a couple of years ago, like before the 2016 election, I had to find a video by Sargon of Akkad to explain what it meant.
Carl's awesome.
Yeah, pretty good. And I went with that definition. I don't know that his definition holds now, but it was the most informative thing I had found at the time. And I was like, oh, okay, I kind of get it. I understand where they're coming from. I don't know that I, buy into it, because versus what, Nick Fuentes is, Sargon of Akkad's definition of it was, pretty tame.
Mm.
Yeah, I had everybody's got some shitty teachers because people can be shitty. Yeah. I had an English teacher who was so fat. Oh my God, this guy. And it was like weird sideshow. And the chair that he sat in was like the regular kind of like Amish built chair. Like it had these joints that moved back and forth like
more disjointed.
There was an over and under on whether the thing would actually hold him up. I remember one of the kids in my class happened to be at the urinals when this guy showed up, and he goes, "It was the weirdest thing I ever saw. He actually had to move himself aside to find himself, to point himself in the you know what I mean? Like the apron, like he had to like dig around and find his shit so that he could stop talking. Like, this is the cafeteria."
All right, I'm trying to eat. Yeah, what are you doing?
Like, do not continue. Oh, was anybody eating just now? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
I was thinking you were going to say that when he stands up, it's stuck to him, like on his back.
No, man, it was
really fat people.
A sad state of affairs. But all this guy did was tell stories about from when he was in the army. Nobody believed him. There's no way that worked. But.
So I had a question about that.
Sure.
Did you guys ever throw anything at him to see if he had his own gravity well?
See if it starts orbiting.
No, man, I didn't understand it. It was.
I mean, it's not like he could chase you. You could just run up a flight of stairs.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I had this one substitute teacher that was funny as fuck, and he's like, "You can call me Colonel K," and he was like substituting for a German class, and he's like, "You can call me Colonel K," and every once in a while people ask me, "Colonel K, have you ever killed anybody?" And I always tell them the same thing: not today, but the day is still young.
Yeah.
He's basically threatening a bunch of high school students. It was pretty fucking funny.
Those substitute teachers, we had this science class. I'll try to keep this short. I did not get into a lot of trouble in school. I basically just wanted to keep to myself and wait for the time to be over with, and then leave, and then move out of the house and just whatever. I was not concerned. But there was a dude whose substitute teacher, science class, Mr. Photiadis. This dude, his head was way bigger than it needed to be. It was like there was a character in South Park that reminded me of it. It was like this just like lolling thing or whatever. He didn't make any sound. It didn't make words, just like sound.
Mr. Mackey. Mr. Mackey.
Mr. Mackey.
Maybe.
Yeah.
It was like a new version of that. The doorknob, the door was kind of like broken. The doorknob on the inside, you could take the doorknob out. Like you could just like take it off. It wasn't attached. And so somebody had taken the doorknob off and put it in a drawer right next, which made it was like ironic. Like your way out of here is 12 inches away. All you had to do was open some doors and look. Somebody took the doorknob off, put it in the drawer right next to the doorway, and I just decided, and it was a Friday. So by the time Monday came around, I didn't even think about it. It was a Friday. I was the last one to leave, and I was just like, I'm shutting the door. I shut the door, and this guy had to, when we came in Monday, there was a hole where the doorknob used to be. And I was like, oh, right. I remember locking this guy in the room on a Friday, had my weekend, forgot all about it. And then the teacher was like, I'm going to write a bunch of names on the board. And then by a show of hands, you tell me like who did this. And he was like surprised. He was like, really? You don't get into trouble for anything. I was like, yeah, but you know, substitute teacher was kind of a dick. And I was caught up in the moment, and there we go. I ended up having like 2 days of detention, but he only gave me one because I showed up and the other guy didn't. They blamed it on somebody else who wasn't even there. Cool Frog's losing it. Darth Hideous just showed up.
You're assuming he ever had it.
About time, Darth.
That's all right. Multiplying by 36 for crying out loud. I don't even know what this stuff means.
Like,
are you talking in?
He's like 35 for fuck's sake.
I think he's talking
So, I
in
mean-
Kanye.
He's talking in Kanye code.
Yeah, right.
All right.
Yes.
Seriously,
This is,
rewatch that first 20 minutes of that Tim Pool podcast, and like Kanye can't keep a coherent thought. He just
That's
constantly.
what I'm talking about. He was all over the place.
Yeah,
And there was a couple of places like if Kanye's speech was a worm on a hook, I'm the fish going, I think I got it.
Yeah,
I think I got it. And then he yanked it off into some other direction. Was like, oh, okay, now we're talking about this.
it was just so fucking bizarre. Like just watching him try to explain or express an idea, and he was just all over the place. And it's like please keep a line of thought. You know, like when you're trying to express an idea, I would love to see him, you know, like take that pout rage where he storms off a fucking debate stage with
Like I
any.
Well,
Yeah,
go watch other
Yeah, right.
teachers talk. He generally talks like that, right? He starts an idea, and he moves to something else that's somehow intertwined, but you have no idea why, and then he'll grab onto another topic, and then it'll circle back around, right?
Yeah.
He has ideas, but he has no understanding of how to get them out.
Yeah, like there's a communication problem there where he's trying to express an idea, but he goes in so many different like left fields. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Can you please finish the thought? And he doesn't. And there's just something fucked up with that. And that's what makes me think that, you know, like unmedicated mental illness, you know, and not to anyone who's mentally ill. I'm not trying to fuck with you. I'm not trying to talk shit.
Well, thank you for being kind.
But there's something fucked up there with him where he can't continue a thought. And yeah.
And
that's
doesn't
kind of it.
help
That's the thing
somebody
that
who
makes
has
it sad.
issues.
I know that he's got something to say, and it might even be profound, and it might even be on some level something that you agree with, but he keeps going in that direction. It's weird.
It just and then the whole Nazi thing. It's like, man, like you would you have your picture taken next to Richard Spencer? No.
If I knew that it was Richard Spencer, no.
Well, Nick
Exactly.
Fuentes is sponsored by Richard Spencer. He's actually not sponsored by, but like he endorses Richard Spencer endorses Nick Fuentes.
Right. And that's one of the things that I've been thinking about. It's like you know that this person is known for being a Nazi or an anti-Semite or whatever, and you know, like a racist, like a general racist, and would you want your picture taken with that person? And it's like, absolutely not. Like that would be like, hey, yeah, go ahead, let me grab my. It's like,
I don't
no,
even want to be heard in a sound bite.
I would. I absolutely 100% would.
Person is talking.
Yeah. So when he goes and he just like endorses these people, oh yeah, he had a lot of great ideas. I really like that. It's like, what the fuck are you thinking?
I would like, no, well, seriously,
idiot?
don't just say he had a lot of great ideas. You should list them, because there's probably one, and it has to do with chocolate chip cookie recipe, and everything else is trash.
Yeah, it's one of those things. It's like you're hurting yourself with these people who are generally hated by mainstream society. And is that really a good idea for you? Is this a good horse to rope? You know, like should you associate yourself with these people? And it's like, no, dude, you're fucking up, man. Like you're making some mistakes. But you would think someone with billions of dollars, or you know, I guess maybe he's only a millionaire now. Oh, poor guy. But like to me, it just seems like he's stepping on rakes and he's fucking up, and there aren't people around him that love him enough to tell him, hey, buddy, maybe you should.
It's muddying the waters in this way. Somebody who's going to pull the lever for Trump in 2024 is going to have to do it like this.
Yeah,
because of all this crap.
And
At least he turns it around. At least he turns it around. I mean, I'm waiting for that moment, man. He needs to have it. Because I'm not in it for Trump. I'm in it for the.
I'm not in it for Trump either. But there's a couple of things
that he has to do. If Trump can get the cause due,
never mind. Like never mind all this Nazi stuff.
He's the only guy on the field that can get it done, right? You got to go with him, right? Because he has the tools to actually win the job. Nobody could win the job before. He actually won it, and he keeps the party, the neocons out of the party. So he keeps that whole illusion of choice going, right? He keeps that out of there too. So that's one reason why we need him. But we need to, but you know, he needs to have that moment where he shows that he's learning as he goes. I mean, he's just a first-time politician. I gave him a lot of grace there, but you know, he needs to show a difference here, or you know, I'll say, is it now still good for the anti-establishment to have him leading the charge? You know. Yeah, you know, that's where I'm gonna draw the line. It's like, when is it not good for the cause?
Okay,
you know?
So I'm gonna backtrack a little here. I would 100% get my picture taken with Richard Spencer. 100%, and I can tell you why. Because I would get him to do the thumbs up and everything, and then when it's over, I'd hit the record button on my phone and be like, "Thank you for supporting my fellow Jewish brethren." And that motherfucker would have pictures of him giving thumbs up to a Jew.
Well, yeah.
And going back to this whole Kanye, I don't think it's going to be an issue. Like, I don't think Kanye is going to last a year and a half to even make it to the point where this is going to be an issue. Like, American detention span is so short. Like,
right, and I mean, even if he did, it's like, do you really think that Americans are going to
target the wrong? They didn't lead their target.
Right, because I don't think it was a dem up. I think it was Milo being a dick.
Yeah. Agreed.
I mean, even if he did make it through, do you think that Americans are going to give a damn about what the hell he has to say when they literally can't afford food, when food is literally gone from food store shelves?
Yes, they voted for Biden.
And it's going to get worse. It is. It can't not get worse. Did we figure out this?
Dude, controlling people's concept of reality is a powerful drug, man. It's a powerful drug, and you can control evidently an entire world that way. So, you know, as long as they're tuned into that narrow point,
Toy Box
view of reality.
What's up, man? Thanks for showing up, Toy Box.
You're kind of gonna be stuck there.
How bad things are going to have to get pretty bad to. I'm generalizing, but things are going to have to get really, really bad in order to forget that they're basically painting Trump as what these people are, guilt by association, and right.
Mm-hmm.
So there's
I mean,
going to have to
go
be
ask.
there's going to have to be some time for that to wash off.
Go outside the
She's
internet
been really
sphere.
quiet too.
And
She must have a really like a bag of some good stuff over there because she's like totally checked out.
she's already passed out.
It's like
Whoever-
it's like 4:41 now.
Are you going to be here for a while? Because I think I am going to check out because I'm kind of tired.
Well, I can't be like not too much longer because I do have to go to work.
I say it's
tomorrow.
almost 5.
Yeah, like 12 hours. Yeah, I mean a little bit. I mean, I don't want to be rude to my guests or anything like that. People,
I'll hang out
we
and
just
chat
had-
for a little while, but I am going to take off because I'm kind of falling asleep. Thanks for having me.
Good night.
You look you look cute when
Later,
you're
dude.
sleeping, I guess, because it looks exactly like the icon or the avatar there.
All right,
All
see you
right.
guys.
Do you want to leave or do you want me to remove you?
Mm-hmm.
I can leave. Thank you.
All right. Don't trip on your way out.
Like, I mean, really,
I'm
like, go
projecting.
outside
I've
the
had,
internet
like,
sphere
I'm
and
enjoying
ask
beer now.
Americans if they remember what Joe Biden said during his election campaign. They don't
What,
remember.
let me see that kid.
No, it's I got blonde hair, long hair, leg hair that goes blonde in the sun.
My God, that guy's just
It's
so
such a-
fucking creepy.
And they voted
Yeah.
for him. Like,
Well,
This is,
voted for him.
this is the kind of work that the Congress is going to have to do on the way. Like the only reason you think, or like the main reason why any, any sort of investigation is going to be done is so that it can be fresh in everybody's mind for the next 2 years why we're voting against him.
Right.
They're not going to actually. What are you going to do? Impeach somebody with a Congress that says, or with a Senate that says balances this? Because impeachment doesn't do anything unless you
It's going to do
convict.
the same thing that you did with Trump.
Yeah, nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You impeached
exactly.
him.
You're gonna,
Yay!
we
Guess
impeached
who
him.
else was
We
impeached?
impeached him in the
Clinton.
House. You got absolutely
Exactly.
no way.
No,
Exactly.
conviction.
I would rather have Biden as the president than Kamala.
It's same.
Yeah.
True. I mean, you really have to think about the whole administration when it comes down to it. So it's like if you did impeach anybody, you have to watch who's sitting at the House, who's sitting in the Senate, who's your majority leader, who's your Speaker of the House.
They're Hydra,
You
man.
got
They're Hydra.
Kevin
Well, and
McCarthy. When you actually think about it, you're like, are we replacing them with anything better? No, Kevin McCarthy, he's worth a shit. He's
Exactly.
crap.
Fuck that
not
guy.
at all.
That guy
But
sucks.
As a matter of
exactly. And then you
strategy.
got Mitch McConnell as the Senate leader. So it's like
And
you still ain't
fuck
gonna freaking
McConnell
get
too.
shit.
No, he's
Yeah.
terrible.
It's
I
not.
mean, the way
Those,
that,
It's
those are the
not
next
worth it.
Those are the next seats we got to get. We have to get a hold of those seats next.
Yeah.
So that would be the next logical step in this: get presidency back, clean out the corruption as best possible, but get ownership of those seats.
as a matter of political strategy, that the way that they want to manipulate the voting base, they're going to work with investigations the same way that the left has been working with abortion for the last, I shouldn't say abortion, Roe v. Wade, for the last few decades. Yeah, remember when they were like, well, you didn't codify abortion. You just left it there, some fear-mongering thing so that you can keep votes coming in. And the right's going to do the same thing with investigations. They're going to have their sessions. They're going to have their questions. They're going to have their video clips. They're not actually going to do anything. They're just going to use it to make sure that people vote the way they want them to vote in 2024.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just going to be
Vote
2 years of,
manipulation.
2
It's
years
not.
of exactly 2 years of
They're not-
bait. 2 years of bait, and then when it actually does come to 2024, tell me if you guys think that this is a viable strategy. Since we've all decided that mail-in ballots are a thing and that votes don't matter, but ballots do. Don't you think it would be worth it to just lean right into the idea of fake ballots? And instead of showing up with a sheriff's SUV at 3:00 in the morning with a few boxes, that you show up with a dump truck of them so that it is obvious super in your face obvious on the Republican side that you are dumping ballots that you say are legitimate that must be gone through, so that the left says, no, that can't be right. You're obviously cheating.
I'm all for it.
So that you can say,
let's do it.
Okay, well, that's fine. You don't think these ballots are real? Let's go through everyone's.
Right?
They would
it's
say
not, it's
okay,
not the ballot. It's really it's who
MAGA
counting
Republicans.
who's counting them, right? So I mean, really, when it comes down to it, you
Thanks
really
for
have to
showing up,
seriously
Toy
think about
Box. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. Thanks for.
every time you act like them, they
Oh,
they
that's a
they,
soccer
they
thing.
tell the
Thanks
world
for
about it.
showing up, Toy Box. I
It'll be
appreciate
like
it.
they were the ones doing it the whole time. They were the ones. They were accusing us, but here we are. We caught them. It's obvious. We have
Right.
all the evidence. They had never
Right,
had any
exactly.
evidence.
So
Yeah,
why
they'll
not
just
just
they'll use all
do
the
it?
same power they have now to do the same thing they always do, and that's craft the narrative.
An 18-wheeler, pallets of votes. Are you saying? Are you
Truck 'em
saying?
in. Let's
Are
do
you
it.
saying that there is more ballots here than there are people in insert state, county,
Like
whatever
Detroit.
area? Is that what you're
Detroit, that
saying?
happens regularly.
Yeah. Just do it. Just bring them in. Like, all right, well, let's just count them all. If you say that we're cheating, then you're going to have to prove it. And let's go through all of them. And let's take a few weeks. And let's get the microscope out, bitches.
I get that, like supplying the impetus to, hey, wait a minute, now you think that we're cheating, so then let's count them all. And they're like, wait a minute, that's maybe that's not so beneficial for us.
Yeah, because either they have to accept that they're legal ballots and we win because we just cheated better, or they have to figure out which ones are legal and which aren't, in which case we win because we were fair.
Well, like here in Arizona, we have Katie Hobbs, who's the election supervisor, and
you're in Arizona.
Yep.
Oh man.
Right.
I like Arizona, but
no, I know
the whole thing is
Pennsylvania
fucked
to
up.
Arizona.
Yeah.
Suck.
No, that
Yeah.
she should have recused herself for sure. She should have recused herself.
She
There's
should
absolutely
have.
no way that
Absolutely.
she could. Yeah.
She's in violation of the state constitution there in Arizona, if I'm not mistaken.
Last time I checked, they didn't play by the rules. So every time you lay out rules, they're just going to bend them, go around them, and then make up a story.
Right.
Super V,
Super V 94. That's my point. They don't even have to be signed.
Super V, the thing with so ballots come in these green envelopes, and the thing is that after you sign your ballot, after you fill out your ballot, you put it back in the green envelope and you sign it, and the signature is matched to your DMV signature. So that's how they verify ballots or ballot signatures, as far as my understanding. But it was. I voted and I went to. There's like a church that's like a mile and a half away, and I went and voted there, and it took like a fucking hour and a half. It was a pain in the ass. It fucking sucked. But I went and did it because, well,
How many people did you see? Did you see anybody walk away?
I didn't see.
Were there long lines?
The line was probably about 14, 15 people deep, pretty much everywhere. But the new people coming in, they had to wait for the machines to be available because you had to scan your ID, and then you had to punch in some information, and then they were like, well, my ID is from my last address. My last address is like 100 miles away. And they were like, well, I need to see some proof that you live over here now. And I'm like, okay, cool. Like, she's like, anything, if you want to look on your phone, if you got anything that shows your new address. And I'm like, I had a, actually, the funny thing is that I bought the Unabomber Meso on eBay. And that's it's like on my eBay purchase, it had my new ad, and they're like, oh, okay, all right, fine, that's okay. But it was such a pain in the ass, and it took a long time, and then all of the booths like around around the building were taken up. So it took a long fucking time to actually vote. It seriously took me like an hour and a half. But
No shit.
Yeah, and this
That's
is Maricopa
ridiculous.
County. Yeah, it was a pain in the ass, but
you're in the middle of it.
Yeah, so I went and did it and all that fun stuff. But yeah, like Katie Hobbs being the person who's the top shit for counting all the votes. There's something fucked up about that.
Dude,
like
this is interesting. They don't do a very good job, and I can tell because
Oh yeah,
being a good kid.
being a good kid, I signed for my dad.
Yeah.
Yep, there you go.
And then went through
Mhm.
and then checked it. Yeah,
Sure
I
did.
say
Yeah.
I say bring in the trucks.
I was gonna
Trucks
say,
are-
like, yeah, I really don't know how to solve the problem. Like, I'm not big brained enough to solve that problem, but I do know that.
What would
you
Elon do?
What would Elon do? I don't know. but it's one of those. Like, I think that there are smart people out there that could solve this problem, but I just don't know what the solution is. But you know,
Do you think you think you could get a bunch of truckers to do something like that?
Oh, absolutely.
Because it would only take one 18-wheeler per district. And I mean, just bring them pallets out, just bring them out, land them on the ground. Here they are, count them up. No, that can't be right. Sure it is, unless you want us to check all of them. I mean, seriously, that's what they were doing. It's like the exact opposite of what they were doing with the. Didn't you guys have a situation down there where there were ballots getting mixed up?
Yeah,
and they can't be counted now.
They fucked so much stuff up, and it's always to the benefit of the Democrats. I have no idea why. No one understands, but it's always to the benefit of the Democrats. And it's like there's something fucked up there, but I wish I was big brained enough to understand it or understand it enough to be able to correct it. But
I mean, we have
I wish you guys the best. We seriously need more governors like Ron DeSantis, and I think that
Carrie
my
Lake.
personal opinion, Carrie Lake is Ron DeSantis on some sexy steroids.
She's
seriously,
a fucking beast.
She is. One of the things that I really enjoyed about watching that Adam Crigler thing is the way that he talked about Tim Pool's girlfriend, Allison, and he used the word lovely. She's a lovely person. And that's one of those, like, I would apply that to Carrie Lake, like, as a genuine term. She's lovely. She's intelligent. She's elegant. Like where you can appreciate her walking from point A to B as a pinnacle of human beauty, and smart, and has more balls than I got. I'll be honest.
Than the majority of the GOP. And one of the weird things about the Arizona GOP is I got a bunch of mailers and I'm registered as an independent. So but I still get GOP and Democrat mailers and stuff like that. And
you got
one
twice
of the
as
things
much junk mail as everybody else because you haven't picked a side.
Pretty much. So I was getting a bunch of mailers from the Arizona GOP, and they were like, "We support Katie Hobbs because Carrie Lake voted for Obama once," and it's like, what? Like really? Like that's your litmus
So you're
test?
going to vote for the harlot that's riding atop the beast in the book of Revelation, then vote for Carrie Lake. Okay, Republican.
Yeah. So I got a bunch of these fucking mailers that were just like, we the Arizona GOP support, and I'm like, what the fuck? Katie Hobbs fucking sucks. What the fuck are you guys talking about? And then like just driving around town, you see the signs that are just like kind of placed, like near crosswalks and shit like that. And a lot of them like like I saw a lot of anti-Carrie Lake stuff, and the anti-Carrie Lake stuff was all, she once voted or donated to Obama back in 2008, and I'm like,
once voted for Obama.
Yeah, right. Are you sure that you want her? And it's like, well, Katie Hobbs is a fucking piece of garbage. So,
How did Katie Hobbs vote for Obama?
Good question. Yeah, exactly. Like I'm not exactly sure how she voted,
twice?
but it's like,
dude,
yeah.
why don't we just hold up the chart of people who voted for
Maybe
Obama
several
twice?
times each time that he ran, right?
Let's just hold up a chart of how many people voted for Obama and then regretted it.
I mean,
yeah, exactly. You know what?
Twice?
You mentioned that before. Yeah. You said that to Joe.
I did.
Okay,
And
so-
I told it to Joe.
Dude,
I
in
sat
fact, I did
downstream
not.
with him
I
and
didn't even know that about
did
you.
not believe me as I'm telling him, hey, I voted for
Right.
the asshole twice because
That was awesome. I loved that.
Yeah, but
I'm just sitting there doing my job with my earbuds.
I didn't care.
Like, really?
I didn't pay attention.
Like, that's a
I
180.
didn't listen. I didn't give
While
a
you're telling him that story, I'm seeing everything that I know about you, which is in the background.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, you've got your Let's Go Brandon flag and the American flags everywhere. I'm like, that guy? No.
Exactly.
Really?
Because I opened my eyes and I started paying attention to what was going on as opposed to just letting the narrative run me and tell me what I should be doing.
It was like right there.
Right.
Her legs
and it's okay
were
to make
spread.
mistakes.
Her legs were spread. You were about to throw it in, and you were like, no, wait a minute. Everything I know about this girl says she's a skank. I'm leaving and voting for this guy.
Right.
Yeah, well,
And I didn't know anything about him either. I went ahead and I'm like, I can't pull the trigger on Hillary.
From it.
And what were
Trump.
the other options?
I'm just gonna hang out with my boys.
Trump.
With Obama, like, what were the other options? Like, one of them was Mitt Romney. Fuck that guy.
yeah,
that
right.
guy fucking sucks. I
Hold
hope
up.
that guy.
I've got a real voting story for you here.
Super V says,
I'm in my mid-30s. I never voted in my entire life until 2020, and it was for Donald Trump.
Oh yeah.
There you go, Super V.
Never voted in my life. Mid-30s, 2020. The first vote I ever cast was for Donald Trump. That should tell you something.
Mm-hmm.
A presidential or any?
Any.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I've only voted for Perot and Trump.
Caught up in the movement.
Yeah, and like I came to voting age around like 2003, 2004, something like that, and you looked at the look at the panel of people who were available for voting for around then, and it's like Bush or like other fucking losers, and it's like, oh man, like I didn't vote.
It was Al Gore.
No, I will.
Al Gore. Oh man.
Yeah,
It's going underwater.
My judgment on political figures is a lot more nuanced in the last couple of years than it used to be.
And
Just
that's the thing is I don't even remember who these people. I don't remember Al Gore being there. I don't remember Mitt Romney, whatever. I don't remember that because I didn't care. All I cared
You
about
hear that, Al
is what
Gore?
they were telling me to
No
do.
one
They were telling me
remembers
to
you.
go vote for this one person, and that's who I should vote for. And I shouldn't question it. I should just do what I'm told to do.
Yeah.
Do you
So
hear
you're
that?
the
Al
reason.
Gore?
You're
Your
the
movies
reason
did
why
nothing.
it took forever. No, you don't live in Florida. That's just one of the things that really pissed me off about that. You are a news agency, and you don't know that Florida has 2 time zones.
Really, it does? No shit.
That's the reason. That's the reason why Florida was hung up in 2000, right?
Right.
Yeah, because they called Florida they called
Handles
Florida
in the
an hour
Central
before
Zone.
they should have. Yeah, the Panhandle is in a different time zone. It's in what is that? Central.
In Central.
In
yeah.
Central and versus Eastern.
Right.
So all the major news networks called Florida for Al Gore, I believe, and then they stayed home. Now, meanwhile, the Panhandle of Florida is considered, deep south, which usually runs red. And duh, like all of them. It's almost as if they did it on purpose. But
Fox Arizona did that with
in 2020
They did that.
2% of the precincts reporting. Uh-oh.
Yep.
Dude, California did it this year.
I think we're safe.
Gavin Newsom took that with
Super
a 0% reporting.
Hi, everybody.
0%.
Hi, Super.
Well,
Say
maybe
that
they'll
again,
quit
Cool
simping
Frog?
for Carrie Lake now.
Sorry to interrupt you. Go ahead, Cool Frog.
Say that again, Cool Frog.
I have it recorded as we were actually sitting in show. Gavin Newsom picking up California with 0% reporting.
Well, it's because California's a one-party state.
Oh my God! You know what? I don't even know if I have that in my. I need to put that in my freaking videos. I have that thing recorded like right at the end of.
How do we 0% reporting? He has won the governorship. No questions asked.
No questions.
It was pretty much as that time zone flipped, as they were actually going to report. It was immediate check mark. Gavin Newsom wins. So it's like, well, what the fuck was that?
Reporting from the French Laundry, the governor is.
And if you question,
French
you
Laundry.
can register your name at this number, and you will be taken to this camp.
Yeah,
right.
Right.
You get to watch this video for this many hours until you change your mind.
Clockwork Orange style.
Good Lord.
What's Super V think?
Yeah, tell us a story, Super V.
Oh my God. I don't know. I voted for Obama the first year. The second year he ran, I didn't vote for nobody. And then when Biden came into fucking picture, I didn't want to vote for him either. I voted for Trump.
Oh, okay. I was
Oh, no. I voted for Trump, it's like, but it's like Biden, I didn't vote for him. And then, I guess I should have voted for Trump, but I just I wasn't I don't know. I didn't, at the time, I had too many Democrats feeding me all this shit. Cause I live in Washington, it's like, they just feed you all this shit, and they're just like, "Oh no, don't do this, don't do that." And I didn't have a voice at that time because.
Or else.
But it's like
Sorry.
Just do it. Don't ask questions.
Do it.
But I just felt like I had no voice, and then therefore, when I started getting smart and I'd listen to my own politics and I'd research myself and all of that, I realized I'm like, okay, I can vote for myself. I know what side I want to be on. I know what's right. And the Democrat Party isn't doing any favors for me. So I'm like, okay, well. But yeah.
Sorry about that. I tried to plug in my phone and it totally.
No,
literally, I
Frog
plugged
just
my
boomer
phone in
everything.
and it messed everything up.
Whatever. It happens. You're good.
It's all right. We all do the same
it's
shit.
It's the trash can Mac. Is what it is. Well, I'm glad to have you here, Super V. Regardless of it, you found your way.
Yes, I did.
You found your way. I always find it very interesting to find out how people got to where they are now. When did we know when Cool Frog saw the light. America Shirts. Have we heard your story?
Yeah, have you always been Republican?
Pretty much.
Okay.
Right.
How many times have you been able to vote?
That's up for speculation.
It is.
Exactly.
There's a lot of things that people.
You're a young Republican nerd.
Well, no. What actually happened is the shirt says actually dead and voting Democrat.
What about Sleazy? You've done a lot of work here. I cannot get over this. I love.
And the
I love
you sure
this.
you love me?
This is awesome. I mean, your skin's a little mottled, you know.
But do you have the voice? Can you pull off the voice?
Oh, hell no.
Oh, Cool Frog. Pitch in for him.
I'm curious.
I have
but
no clue what you want me to say.
I'm curious. Like, how do you how do you do this? Is that like a free online program where anybody can put a tinfoil hat on the Trump head?
This one is
You're
free.
throwing a few different messages there.
Yeah, this one is free, and it'll take me 15 minutes to show you. I don't know if it'll work on a Mac though.
Oh man.
Android all the way. Android all the way.
works on
Dude, Androids are
PC.
like wide open. You might as well be walking around like naked everywhere. Androids can see everything. Aren't they? Are those like the least secure phones, or am I mistaken?
This is kind of my career path, and I'm just gonna tell you it doesn't matter.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shit.
Pretty much.
Damn it, dude! I'm pissed at Apple, man. I've had an Apple since
Fuck Apple.
an Apple IIc, dude. Seriously, the 5 1/4-inch discs when I was a kid. I had an Apple IIc in the basement. That's how long I've been with Apple products. That's what we had in our school. Yeah, I learned to write BASIC, which nobody uses anymore. But
I know BASIC.
Do you really?
Yes.
Get on. If then.
That's
the one thing that BASIC taught me is that life is one giant if then statement.
Yeah, I know BASIC too.
If this
I
happens,
learned
then
BASIC,
that
and
will
that's where I learned if I ever decide to code, it's going to be the death of me. I will literally Wall Street myself.
Same here. I'm not a coder. I'm the other. I'm like I'm a network guy like him.
I'm a
Leave
user.
that for the former Twitter employees.
I'm a user.
Yeah,
I think I'm like the blue glowing things in Tron. I'm a user. I'm the user. I'm a user. I'm the blue glowy thing that's not.
So you're like Hunter.
Yeah. No.
well, yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah, I used to be a full-time software developer. I don't like that stuff. It's a miserable life, but
is it?
Yeah, I still write software, but I don't
just the good stuff now
anymore. Yeah.
So you were okay. So America Shirts was born Republican, and your coming to light, Sleazy, was when? Did we already go over this?
No. So I still believe this. Every politician is absolute garbage. They're running a popularity contest, but I saw my taxes decrease. I didn't care about Twitter, so I didn't give a shit about tweets. I saw actual changes, and there were more positive than negative.
So you're recent.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't mean that in a bad way. I'm just like this latest.
Just curious.
Right.
Yeah. No one's trying to trash it.
Right.
How long have you been able to vote, and who all have you voted for?
And if you
I've been
don't
able to
answer
vote
the right way, we might throw you
since-
off a two-story building.
I love the way Cool Frog organizes stuff. I want to know. I want to know exactly where in this Venn diagram you belong. How old are you?
Right. So, like I said, Trump's second time in my mid-30s. I could have voted for Obama. No way in hell.
Right.
It's definitely not happening. Right. But it's like I'm literally watching my paychecks get bigger, the taxes get smaller, and seeing everybody like, no, this is only helping rich people. It's like, dude, I'm making less than 30K and I'm getting more of my check. Fuck you.
Yeah, it's right in front of you. There's no denying it.
Trickle down economics must not exist.
Oh, I mean, they technically don't anymore, but that's a different conversation.
The bottom up, right?
Yeah. Well, like
one of her merits was that she was a woman.
And like,
you call that a merit?
No, she doesn't.
I was gonna say, like, one of the things that people notice is like when you get more of your paycheck, it's like, you know, like you take your hourly rate if you work hourly or if you're not salary, and then you multiply that by the number of hours you work a week, and then you multiply that by the number of weeks in a month. Weeks in a year, and then you divide that by like 12, and you go like why am I not getting nearly as much as this? So like that actually means stuff to people. Like
I mean, yeah,
like,
the effective tax rate now, the effective tax rate by the time it's all said and done is closer to 50%.
Yeah. Oh, wait. Are you a 1099 or are you a W-2?
I'm a W-2, but I'm not
okay.
talking like the taxes that come out of your check. I'm talking about the effective taxes you pay out of everything you earn.
Oh,
Sales
gotcha,
tax,
gotcha. Yeah.
Property tax, all of it. It's 50%. It's fucking ridiculous.
Exactly. When I was a 1099 employee,
it's exponential. The more you make, the more you get taxed.
Right, and during my Trump, my salary went from under 30K to over 80K. Like, when you start looking at those numbers and how much you're giving people who do nothing for you, it's kind of like,
what the fuck?
Well, and not only that,
it's a big what the fuck.
It's the trickle down that every liberal will tell you doesn't exist, while they're complaining that their 401k is not as worth as much as it should be.
Yeah.
My paycheck gets smaller, which means my contribution to my 401k gets smaller. That can't be just me. It must be happening everywhere.
Yeah.
Because if it was just me, my contribution, my 401k would not be shrinking this much. If it was just my contribution, it would only be shrinking this much. But the same thing is happening all across the board. Everybody is not getting paid. Everybody is not spending as much money. The economy is slowing down because there's no velocity of money. In the private chat, you can see the money speech from Atlas Shrugged, written by Ayn Rand, which is basically it's the people that make money and trust other people. And I make my money, I spend my money on you. You have more money, you spend more money on people whose product is of value to you, and on and on and on and on.
I mean, I can give you my absolute hot takes on what I think America should do.
Hot takes are awesome.
Oh, these ones are rough. Like I'm talking about cutting the employable population in half.
The employable population, because I mean there are people who could be employed, but then there are people who should be employed.
Yeah.
Which one are you talking about?
Okay, so I legitimately believe if you don't own property, you shouldn't be voting. Like 100%.
You know what? I've heard that before, and I can say I disagree.
You can or can't?
I cannot say that I disagree. I mean, in other words, I kind of agree.
Yeah, that used to be how it was.
Yeah,
right.
Like a long time ago. Yeah.
And the other one, it's an extremely nuanced discussion, and it sounds god awful when you say it. But when you break it down, it makes so much sense. It would be to repeal the 19th.
Explaining that one to me.
Yeah, so
women
shouldn't vote.
No. In fact, I would go this far to Super V. To your point, if you are, oh man, I could get in trouble for this one.
Hey, I'm the one who said repeal the 19th. Okay, come on.
It's just because this is because I'll ask you, Super V, are you pro-marriage?
I am married right now.
All right, okay. Now, if your old man owned some land and his vote was worth twice as much because he was married to a woman like yourself, you would be down?
Yeah, I
right.
would. Yeah.
There it is.
Okay, so what one of the things about repealing the 19th is women still voted in the original 13 colonies. They were voting, but the thing is that it was women who were landowners, and women became landowners because their husbands passed away and stuff like that.
Right.
So
Right.
so like people say like women can't vote or women shouldn't vote or anything like that.
It shouldn't be. It's a guarantee for every single person of a specific class. It should be whoever owns property.
Man,
exactly.
We're
I preface my statement
I'm never going to bed, and I'm okay with this.
but I don't mean that.
It's
like,
not a guarantee. Like, oh, you're a woman, so you now have a guarantee to vote. It's no, who owns property?
But
Like,
see,
just-
that's
and-
but that's the thing that sucks about nowadays is
They wanna take away property from everybody.
me and
They
my
don't own
husband,
anything.
we don't own
Mhm.
anything. We rent because we yet to be able
You
to
can't do that
afford
right now. Exactly.
land.
Because
So, you know,
this actually has nothing to do with women, though. It has nothing to do with women. Because check it out.
I honestly
Hold
think
on.
that
Because
It has nothing to-
everybody's doing the nitpicking thing.
Give me 1 second. I think that
But
the concept of owning land, the word own, is not the same as like working land. Nobody who owns the kind of land that it would take to where you can vote and nobody else can is not the same as working the land that you have. Because I mean, you can own a lot of land and just let weeds grow there, and you don't make any money, you don't produce anything, you don't do anything towards the not common good, but the where I could own a lot of land and just let it go, and all I do is just hunt and procure meat and food for myself and whatever. But if you're actually working the land and you have a lot of people on that land working it for you and paying them, and it's a different thing. Owning land is different than working the land.
The premise of what we're talking about, though, is through the lens of a non-corrupt system where everything works out and everybody obeys the rules. We don't live in that. It's a rigged game right now. So that this doesn't, none of this is going to work until we solve the problems we have. You know, then this is a great conversation. Then
Right. Exactly. This is sort of off in the future.
Right, but this is why I also
Actually, it's off in the
prefaced it as there were
past.
two things that needed to happen.
Well, right. Bring it back. Yeah.
Right, so it's you need to own land and effectively cut the working force by a significant amount, right? So bring back the family, bring back the actual mother in the home, and you cut the workforce down to such a point that now men are actually making money that can support a single income household.
Mm-hmm.
I always like the idea of having a dad in the home because, you know, I mean, honestly, for crying out loud, everything, like every policy that's been happening in our government for the last few decades has been to decimate the family. You're paying,
right,
appealing to someone's venality to make sure that there is no male structure in the home. Give her a check for as many kids as she has and tell the dad to go away. And so what do you have? Gang culture, because boys need some sort. Being a girl is not the same thing as being a man.
Women cannot raise men.
No, you can't. Not unless you're like really like that tough. Now, Super, you're the girl in the group here, so I'm going to ask you: do you feel that being a caring, nurturing creature is something that you're born with, or something that you have that you are raised to be? Do you feel that it's natural, or do you feel that you would not know how to do that unless you had a mother to teach you how to naturally, like, you want to care for something? Is that,
Okay,
that is innate within you, or is that something that has to be taught to you?
In that perspective, which I can't say for people that were raised with their dad and only with their dad, didn't have a mother figure, but I had both my parents. But if I didn't have my mom, I am for sure that my dad would have taught me the values of how to be a man and do your own stuff. Because if I didn't have my mom, was the loving character in my relationship. She took care of my grandpa. She took care of my grandma. She took care of all the grandkids, you know. So she has that caring, loving, and then she's a CNA. You know, she takes care of old people on a daily basis.
Okay.
So if I wouldn't have had that perspective in my life, I probably wouldn't be as caring as I would be with just my dad, because my dad taught me a different perspective in my life, that you don't need a man in your life. You don't need someone to support you. You can do it yourself. But with having my mom, she taught me that you can be caring, you can take care of people, but you can still, work. But the main process is, if when you have kids, you're supposed to be that loving, caring mom that's there for your child. And
Right.
you teach them the values of being a child into an adult. So, but I like that I had that perspective of both my parents, my mom and my dad, because my dad taught me the values of, you don't have to rely on the man, but
he probably saw the writing on the wall on that one. And I don't mean to interrupt, but we are not producing the men that we should be producing. But the question, this is, I'm kind of, it's a little bit more of a deeper dive than I wanted to.
Hold on. I got to stop you right there, though. Right
No,
there.
go ahead.
Is nowadays, a lot of women don't have that perspective on, like, you got to be loving, you got to take care, you got to make sure you feed your children, because a lot of women don't even cook. They don't cook. They don't know how to cook. They lost sense of how to be that motherly figure, to where you cook for your family, to where
They're
you
taught that it's a virtue not to be, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, that's where I'm like, you gotta still have that.
No word. I mean, it's a joke between my wife and I. We usually talk about how when we first, because she's younger than I am, that when we first started, cooking and stuff, that it was a pound of meat and a bag of stuff with milk and butter, and eventually she got into watching Rachel Ray. Now she's a really good cook.
Yeah, no, I mean,
but but the question that I was asking is, do you believe that being a loving, motherly, that motherly characteristic is something that needs to be taught to girls, or do you believe that it is something that is naturally occurring?
It is not naturally. It needs to be taught, because there's a lot of women, like there's a lot of my friends that I grew up with that had kids at an early age before me.
Right.
Because I had my first son when I was 28, and I waited. I want to experience life, so I waited. But a lot of my friends, they had their kids when they were 18, and they didn't have that perspective. They didn't, like, yes, their moms were like that, but they didn't absorb that in. And then their moms weren't really enforcing it on them, because they didn't think that they were going to be young moms. So it's just, it's something that needs to be taught.
So you think that it's fair to say that the same work that goes into turning a boy into a man is exactly the same kind of work that it takes to turn a girl into a mother? It's not a natural thing. She plays with dolls. She wants to be a mom. She has that grocery or that baby carriage toy, and this is a naturally occurring thing, versus boys want to go outside.
Rambo.
And exactly, they're rough and they're tough and they fight, and they have to be like, no, okay, now look, you need to learn how to, like, open a door and pay for the meal and be gentle, or you are a caveman that needs to be reined in, versus a girl that is like, do you think that a girl starts out as a caveman versus a boy that starts out as a caveman?
Not necessarily. I feel like maybe if that girl was just raised with a man, she didn't have the mother figure in the life. Like you said, it's like, if you don't have that mother figure in your life, you might go a different direction, because I have friends that grew up with just dads, and they straight up were tomboys. They were like, they're not necessarily like, I'm a boy, but like, I'm a tough person. Like, don't fuck with me. I'm gonna, like, fuck you up, because
I love tomboys. Tomboys are awesome. The girl knows.
That's a hot take.
Because you can hang out with a tomboy.
Yeah,
you can't always hang out with a girly girl.
And that's why
Yeah.
I guess being the middle child in my family, I had a sister, I had an older sister, had a younger sister. Being the middle child, I was stuck in the middle. I didn't know who I wanted to be because I'd hear things from my dad. I'd watch sports with my dad. I'd hang out with my dad. I'd hear from my mom. I'd cook with my mom. I'd bake with my mom. So I got both sides, but I liked being that like tough, like girl. I didn't want nobody to fuck with me. So I was that Tom girl for a really long time until I got into high school. But it's just, I have a son and I'm happy that I have my husband in my life because I don't think I would be able to raise my son as tough as of a man as a man would raise his own son to be tough. I feel like he would be tough, but he would still be sensitive hearted because that's how women are. We're very sensitive. We don't want to be as tough. So
right, and you know, iron sharpens iron the way one man sharpens. Was it the one man sharpens another the way? I know it's. I'm never going to be able to remember the Bible and the chapter and the verse, but it is a iron sharpens iron the way one man sharpens another, or verse of this. Way back there is a. I'm sorry, like really quick. One A Latina was in the chat before. I just want to make sure everybody understands that, and I'll post in the comments. If you guys go to the Hood Conservative, it's a great YouTube channel that I love. That it gives a really good perspective on the Black experience as a conservative and. It's one of the channels I honestly like love it. There's two of them. He wants to make sure that he doesn't get shut down. Check out the Hood Conservative if you get a chance. Throw him some likes. Throw him a sub. He's funny. He's very educated, and it's always a very enlightening perspective, apart from what we might be used to on our side of the spectrum. So
gotcha. Hey, I just need to interrupt real quick. It's almost 3:30 here.
Yeah,
I need to catch some Z's. So
no, that's fine, man. I understand. It's 5:30 here. I was gonna take off an hour and a half ago.
Yeah, I really need some sleep because I'm dropping off. I kind of hit a wall.
It's all right, man. I appreciate it. I appreciate you guys showing up. I appreciate everybody showing up. It's been a lot of fun. I can't believe I lasted this long.
It's been fantastic talking to you all, and thank you to everyone, and Sleazy, Winning Reality, Super V. It's really nice to see you. I like you so much.
I know. It's
American
nice
Church.
to see you back.
Yeah, and America Shirts and Cool Frog and ID Crisis. It's been wonderful talking to you.
Yeah.
Please take care, and I will catch you guys all later. But I really I hit a wall.
I'm right behind you. I should probably be kind to these other people. They're like, I can't believe ID Crisis is actually streaming. We need to keep this going for as long as possible. It never happens.
Oh, it didn't be long.
It's like a rare jewel.
Hey, you know what? If you want to do this again, like in a week or so, that'd be fantastic.
I had planned on doing it tomorrow, but now I don't know if I can. I was going to be right over there on that table trying to do some art kind of weird thing or whatever. I was like,
yeah, right. You're like, we're going to find you face down on the table.
It's happened before to other people that I know. I don't know.
But hey everyone, it's been a lot of fun, and thank you so much for including me, and take care, be well, and everyone have a good night.
Good night.
Thank you, man.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Yeah, he might be actually leading the charge. It is literally 5:30 on the East Coast. I got to do the math now.
Okay.
Well, it's only 2:29 here.
9, 10, 11, 12. So if I was going to get 8 hours of sleep, I'd have to wake up at 12:30 and then go to work at 4. I'll go to work at 5, but still, it's all right.
Okay, well, before you shut down the stream, I posted my link in the chat so you could pop that thing up there. I just started a channel. I would appreciate anybody checked it out. It is just games because I believe in escapism, no politics. Watch me rage out at stupid stuff in video games.
There you go. Comments. Is this it?
I'm subscriber number 1. Ha!
You are like 7 or 8, but okay.
Is
this it says there's one. It says there's
no,
one.
it should be. Hold on, I'll post it again.
Oh, I'm hitting your YouTube link. It says there's one, and it's me.
Oh yeah, no, that I finally made enough videos.
No, wait, that's my link. Wait a minute. I was gonna read something that was way too long. In fact, it would put everybody to sleep, and then I could just shut the stream down, and you guys would all be like, "Wait, what happened?"
Except for I sleep like 3 or 4 hours a night, and I don't have to work today. So
wait, nothing. Wait, where?
I don't know. I'm very
in the chat.
In the chat.
Yeah. Yep. You posted. I said I'm going to show myself. Here's my Twitch link. Okay.
How far back do I need to go? Holy shit! This private.
Probably the most recent one.
There it is. All right, got it. Copy. All right, open. All right, right. Gotcha. Oh, it's a Twitch. I'm down. Okay. I might have to sign in first before any of that happens, but I'm going to leave that tab open so that when I wake up tomorrow and see it, I will not forget you, Sleazy.
Yeah, don't worry. I forget myself sometimes.
I don't forget anybody whose name is Sleazy.
I've only been called Sleazy for 18 years, so.
Really? How old are you?
I'm about to be 34 in March.
So this is a nickname that started in your household?
Middle school friends.
Oh, okay. I was going to say like mom, dad, brother, sister, but that would have been weird.
Yeah, I'm not going to dox myself, so I'll leave it at that.
I know. I really like, dude, what was it, the thing I was doing on Halloween? Oh, by the way, why not get into it now? You know what? We can't get into it now. You were asking me something about people we know and personalities that are weird and Discord crap, Cool Frog.
No, yeah, we'll talk about that. We'll talk
Hey, while we're up, how about I shut this thing down and give everybody it'll be this thing where you don't have to do it because I'll do it. You don't have to be the awkward, weird, we don't feel like hanging out anymore. I'll just kick you out so that you don't have to be that person. You don't have to feel the guilt of Dave. Just shut up and end the stream. All right. I am very happy that Super finally showed up. Sleazy's dancing, winning. Reality has his thoughts are nice, straight, like a straight line. And America Shirts, always a fun time. Cool Frog, sexy beard as always.
Yes.
Right.
Oh my.
Beards are very attractive. Like even you, ID, you got a good beard.
Even me? Now hold on a second. DJ Nitry Blue. Yeah, I do believe that you deserve a vote, even though that comment got erased. Of course you do. It's like in Starship Troopers. If you are what do they get? If you're a veteran, then you get a vote. You know, you also are licensed to have children. So that's how I feel about that. All right.
Pure authoritarian.
Well, no, what is it? You
go home and tremble in fear.
Shoot your shot.
Hold on, now I feel discriminated against.
You served. So well, his thing was to owning property. So I think it would be like a hybrid of those. You own property or you served, and then you get a vote. And if you're married to somebody who owns property or served, then you get 2 votes.
Well, fuck me.
If you have kids, you get 3.
You're all doing math right now. Yeah, exactly. There's math is happening. 2 and 2 is 4 is what I'm trying to do. 2 and 2 is 4. Don't ever let anybody tell you anything other than that.
There are 4 lights.
Well, I think we've all learned something here.
3 hours and 32 minutes. You guys are really making me feel wanted. I can't believe you put up with me for that long. I'm going to hit the end broadcast thing right here. I'm pointing right at it.
Check better not bounce. Sorry.
Peace. Later, everybody.
See you, everybody.
Thanks, guys. I'll talk to you later. All right. Boo bye.
Later.